Hey, Gutfoxx here. Today we got MUT episode number 93, and I'm joined, as always, by the Texas boy. How are you?
I'm doing good, Mr. Fox, man. How you doing?
Oh, that's good. Did you got a text story for us this week?
That old man that likes to talk to me while he's in nude, every time he sees me, always asks me if the Browns are going to the playoffs. I'm like, no. He thinks it's hilarious every single time. I'm like, dude, this is not funny. This is not funny.
Is it? He's building up to taking the Browns to the Super Bowl joke, I feel.
Duh, I don't, like, he knows they're not mathematically, like, they can't make it. Like, this is like 3 weeks ago. Are they making the playoffs? No. That's hilarious. He knows his stuff. And then next week, same thing. I'm like, all right, guy, I'm just going to quit the job so I don't got to deal with it no more. I think that's the best course of action right now.
It's like a bad relationship, right? Just fake that you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just need to leave for a while. Hopefully he'll go on, find another gym, and I can go back, and I'll be happy without being unbothered.
Oh, go in next week with like a mustache. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like cut my hair. Like, who's that guy you're talking to? That's not me. Somebody different.
I like that. All right, and we're joined by our biggest rivals in the podcasting scene, the Muthead crew, Slump and Chewy. We were on their podcast a couple weeks back, and we're having them here to join us and share their knowledge with us. How you doing, guys?
What's up? How's it going?
Not bad. Chewy?
I'm doing well. It's been a day, which we might talk about my day. I'm not sure how much you want to talk about that, but it has been an interesting day on Madden for me. But I wish I could give you a more enthusiastic. Yeah, I'm doing well, but it's been a weird day.
Let the salt flow through you, Chewy. Let's hear it. Give us your day.
Okay, so I think I've already made a video. I have it rendering right now, so I've already given my take on what's happened. But I got Auction House banned today, actually on stream as well. So that was kind of, I believe that's 100% coincidence. All the bans came down, I think, at the same time, and it just happened to be that I was streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/ChewbaccaL, and I was streaming, and I looked, and I'm like, I was just trying to do my daily objectives, buy a pack in the store, and I see that something was grayed out, and I'm like, well, I was freaking out. I'm like, what the heck? And I got banned. I can promise, and most people I think believe me, I have never bought coins in my life. I don't promote coins either, which many people promote coins and don't get banned. I've never sold coins. I have no idea. But as of the time we are recording, and I hope by the time this goes live, within 24 hours, something is resolved. But I am Auction House banned. The Auction House sniper has been banned.
Yeah, so maybe you killed too many people as a sniper, and they decided to ban you because I know, doesn't like 2K ban people for sniping too much, and they've done that in the past? Texas, do you know?
I believe they have, just based off of people posting cards cheaper and trying to go on account to farm. So I think that's why they're banning people for sniping. They kind of eliminated it this year, which has affected their mode because not many people play my team as much as they did the years before.
Yeah, so if they start banning people for sniping like Chewy, I think that's going to cause a huge uproar in the ecosystem of MUT. Like, there's people that are going to quit because of that. So Chewy, that's a hell of a thing. I mean, and you think it's a coincidence they didn't do it on purpose on stream? I think FIFA's done that purposefully to FIFA promoters in the past. They ban them on stream to cause a maximum embarrassment. So I'm just saying you may or may not be targeted.
It seems crazy to think that EA. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it seems crazy. Like, the amount of people that would be upset. They're specifically going after somebody who is, I guess I could probably say this, I'm the head of the no money spent. The guy who, buys the game and that's it. That's what the money I put into it. I think you can grind the game and have a good team, and that's what I do. To go after that entire group of people, like, on stream, when I have done, I actually was talking to somebody in, at EA, and they sent me, the whole group of, like, all the stuff against terms of service, and I can promise you 100% without a doubt I did not break a single one even close in the terms of service. I never donated coins, people ask for donations, and I just tell them, hey, it's against EA's terms of service. I even say that I can't do it. I've never done any of that. And to think that it does seem crazy to think, like, why else would I get banned? Like, I'm not sure. As of now, everybody, supposedly it would happen too late in the day for them to have people in the office, so I'll find out tomorrow, but I don't know. I feel like it would be coincidence because it seems like, sorry, but I know people are going to say, well, it's EA, but it seems pretty stupid from EA's perspective to ban somebody.
So
who hasn't
I just
done anything
I want to
wrong.
interject something here. So I used to be an EA game changer, and when I was invited down to EA, I was talking with people there, and they made it very clear to me, because I've always been no money spent. They made it very clear to me that no money spent players are very important to the game that they release, because if it's impossible for somebody to create their ultimate dream team without spending any money, then they've somehow failed. So you had to have been in some sort of automated, like just swept up in the system and banned because of that. Because if they're like now making it impossible for people to go your route and snipe the auction house in order to make coins, then they're gonna make it like it's actually gonna be impossible for people to build these good teams without spending any money. And I mean, obviously they want to make as much money as possible, but with all the hate that they're getting for microtransactions already, I can't imagine that their goal right now is let's just ban no money spent players.
Hey Chewy, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Now you got to answer honestly. Did you have sex with the developer's wife?
No, I'm married. I would not do that. One, I don't even I don't even know like a lot of the like I don't even like MUT Guru. We might talk about him later, but or I don't even know who the other I don't even know who these people are at EA. I don't really follow too much with the EA. I don't really know who's in charge, who the developers even are. Who's a developer? Who's in charge of gameplay? Who's in charge? I don't know any of this stuff. I'm just trying to make a good team and enjoy the game, and here I am, like to make my team. I have a 93 overall, no money spent. How much money do you think it would cost for somebody to make the team that I have? Thousands of dollars, right? Like you couldn't.
Yeah.
I have 5 million coins with a 93 overall. I feel like that would cost thousands of dollars. So I don't know. I will tell you guys 100%. I haven't done anything wrong. I am 100% innocent, but I think Slump kind of said that's kind of how I'm feeling too. Like somehow I got swept into something. Maybe I had too much activity and people. I don't know what. I don't know their system, of course, but it's weird. I'm trying to be careful because I don't know exactly. Like I have no idea what to even talk about because I'm confused. So what am I supposed to say?
I like how you two things. I like how you seriously answered that if you had sex with the dev's wife. You're like, I don't know any of them. I don't know them.
Yeah.
And it's secondly, I like. I think Slump's right there. That an automated system caught you because you buy so many cards under value and you sell them. So that's kind of like similar to maybe like a coin seller or a coin transfer or something that the automatic system caught you for that, or too many sells, something like that. So I think, especially because you have maybe connections, that priority account being a YouTuber, contacting people, you might get bumped to the head of the line for getting your account back. But I mean, to think this happens to say, I guess people without a YouTube channel, and that might not have that, and they don't have that, and it might take them like a week or more to get a solution. I think was it Simple Green, but he actually did a giveaway and got banned for it or something like that. So, and it took him. He had a 7-day ban. He was banned. It was like day 15 of a 7-day ban before he got unbanned. So there's a huge issue with their automated software detection for these kind of things, and I think you're paying the price for it. Texas, any thoughts?
I was gonna ask, do you know what card you bought last to where like it caused this tipping point to happen? Like, what the last card you sniped was?
I mean, the very last cards I bought before I got. Now, again, I don't think that would be even in the system yet, but I buy so many cards that I wouldn't even be able to. Like, I was asked, like, did you buy any like cards that were? I'm like, I just bought like today on stream. I bought a Brandon Williams, and it wasn't a deal. Like, I actually overpaid for these because there wasn't that many on. Which I would never do unless it's on a stream because I'm a sniper and I can't. But I'm like, I'll overpay because I want to get a good team. And a Rashad Jones. I bought those two cards for market value. Now, before that, I have no idea. I bought so many stinking cards, I have not a clue what could have been this thing that flagged it, except the fact of just pure quantity. Like the fact that there was so many. Now, there was probably a few cards in there that was really expensive that I bought and flipped, but I mean, almost every card I buy off the auction house I flip. There's, you only have so many cards on your team. So I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue until they tell me, which I doubt they even tell me. They'll probably just say like there was something.
I'm not blaming you.
They're gonna say that something. Yeah, well,
they're
yeah.
gonna be like,
yeah,
you should have been that active. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Don't play
they're
our
gonna
game
say
that much.
that there was something that happened that red flag. I bet that red flagged it. that there's, I don't know how they're going to word it, but my guess is they're going to say there's something that did it that on my end, and your account is no longer banned. I do expect that to be the end of it's going to be a reach out, 24 hours, 48 hours. I do think that it will get unbanned. Maybe it will take a week. I'm not sure, but I do think that will be the end because I don't know what else. I don't know how I can possibly be banned I haven't violated terms of service, but you never know. Of course, being a YouTuber, I think there is an advantage. I think there actually is truth to that. I do think the fact that I can just reach out to people at EA and say, not that I really know them, but I have enough of a following where if I mention it, they'll at least, they might be bump me to the front of the line. I do think there actually is probably some truth to that.
Yeah. And I mean, Texas, you want to say something?
No, I was gonna say it's just weird that they decided to ban you now because you've been doing this since the start of the years.
Which is why it had to be probably a few cards, something that just.
But you were active. You were buying a bunch of cards at the beginning of Madden for $7K and flipping them for $9. So I don't get why
it has to be
this
something.
now.
It had to be a card or a couple cards that maybe. They were maybe there was something that if somebody bought these cards, I don't know how their system works. I'm sure it was one card or two cards that red flagged it, and maybe then they see all this activity on my account and they just boom, and that's their automated system. I don't think anybody picked out Chewbacca-Lemma and they're like, let's send a message. I think it was probably an automated system, banned, and now I'm guessing again. I don't know because this all happened within the past. A few hours ago. It's been very.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Slump, you ever been banned?
No, I've never been banned. But I also wanted to say that today is the official Mole's first day back at EA after his 3-month hiatus. I think he went full time today, so I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. But
I don't think it is. I think this is Bengals' grand scheme. He got Reigning Ravens' account on YouTube taken away. He just took out Chewy's content. I think he's slowly taking out every single a YouTuber and the way that they can make videos out of the game so he can become the number one, the alpha and the omega. So, Bengal, we know about you. We're watching you. You got your mole on the inside, but we have our eyes on you.
With that, honestly, he reached out to me today about doing a collab. So that's just trying to make it look like he's... Just
exactly.
Now we're starting to get somewhere. And then day before he even knew, before I supposedly he knew that I got banned, he said, "Hey, what you want to do this?" And I'm like, "I would, but I'm kind of banned." And he's like, "LOL, haha, that's funny." What?
That sounds like him.
That's Bengal.
Went right back to you.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate. I've been banned once because I don't know if you guys remember the Madden 17 set issue where you could put bronze cards into a set to get an elite card out.
Yeah.
So I did that set and they banned I don't know,
a lot of people,
tons of us for it.
Everybody.
So it sucks. And the thing is you get the email back and like Chew was saying, and it's by the grace of our generosity you've been unbanned. It's no, fuck you, EA. You banned me and it's your issue. Don't say it's you being generous. I've given you hundreds of dollars and you're saying we're generous to let you back in our game. No, fuck you for banning me. So I could see definitely where your frustration is, Chewy, and as much as I don't want to feel bad for you, I do. But moving on, along with that, because I don't want to feel bad with you because you're Chewy. Anyways, why are people mad at EA is the next subject. And it seems like on the MUT subreddit, there's been a lot of posts about how EA has been screwing up lately. It's kind of been boiling over. Everybody's kind of salty at EA for kind of the Christmas promo, I think, and just generally NATs and the whole year power-ups, all the issues around that, and so on and so forth with MUT 18. And now I kind of want to ask you guys, are you guys angry at EA? If so, why? And then if not, why are other people? Slump, let me hear from you first.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm angry at EA, but I can definitely understand people's frustrations with the game this year. It just feels like this year, I don't know. Something feels different about Madden this year. I don't necessarily know how to put my finger on it as to what it is. Content doesn't seem to be there. Gameplay, the thresholds make cards a lot of the content that comes out is basically unusable. Team of the Week comes out every week and everybody just looks at it and says, well, that's just another card that I don't really want, or even if I do want it, it's going to be out of my price range unless I'm Chewy. And even Chewy's going to have to join us plebes down here because he can't snipe anymore, so he's going to run out of coins faster than he knows what to do with. So I don't know. I think that
I can't even buy a card.
Yeah, I think that I can
bypass
understand how people's frustration has been kind of boiling over all year. People put a lot of faith in EA that they were going to have this awesome Christmas promo and make up for the whole year's worth of stuff, and it just didn't happen. I mean, I think that the Christmas promo fell short in a lot of people's eyes, and now they're just angry about it.
Yeah. Do you think you think they're rightfully angry at EA for the lack of content in their eyes?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they are rightfully angry. I'm not angry enough. I've been playing a lot of PUBG lately to take my mind off of it. So, when I play Madden, though, I do notice it, and I also wish there was more content coming out. I am on their side on this one.
Okay, gotcha. How about you, Chewy? Do you think are you mad at EA outside of your ban or for the content, and do you think?
Honestly, I'm not. I never really get mad. Even at this, I'm just like, I'll get on my PlayStation or I'll play something else. It's not that big a deal. But I think rightfully angry. I do think they're rightfully angry. This NAT stuff is absolutely ridiculous. I think that the fact that it was so people were so outspoken about it and it still happens. It's still like a thing. Is to me they haven't addressed it at all. So that's a problem. Which I think power ups or NAT stuff. There is ways to fix it. But we'll see if they end up doing any of that. When it comes to the Christmas promo, I thought it was a flop, and the Christmas promo is usually, to me, one of, if not the very best promo. It's probably my favorite promo, and it's not because of Out of Position. It's because of Ghost. It is because of, the Calvin Johnson. There is some cards that are really interesting, but the Bo Jackson at every position doesn't really feel, it doesn't feel right. The weird Out of Position players, Michael Vick corner, and it just feels weird. The content, there was a lot of out of position cards drop, but it's like, do we really even want these? And then Slump mentioned about Team of the Week. Team of the Week has been a big letdown, and this is every year really where they have these sort of players that don't mean anything. But I think it's especially this year. It seems like there's really not much thought put into the cards. I don't know if it, maybe just one person able, they're overwhelmed. I'm sure. I don't know who's in charge of that, specifically Team of the Week, but it just seems like there's not much thought put into it. It's just they're due for an upgrade. They throw a card. A lot of times, I don't even know if they pay attention to what ratings are really upgrading. Just a few +2s, a few +3s there, and they give a card. So I do think there is rightful anger. Sometimes it goes way too far, but for the most part, I think that it does make sense. I personally find the gameplay to be better than it was last year, and I do think it's better than Madden 16. But the gameplay still leaves a lot to be desired. I think it is. I know I've been talking for a while, but I do think there is a rightful anger there, and I can understand it. I'm not really angry because I don't really get angry about this kind of stuff, but I do understand it. It does make sense when people are saying these kind of things.
All right, Texas, what are your thoughts on that? On people being angry, and specifically, maybe I'll get to this next about being angry at you. But what about angry at EA?
So, all those points Slump and Chewy made are very valid, and, I agree with everything. So, I guess I'll add something else that they didn't mention, which is, I guess, communication. And communication is a huge part of why people are not happy with what's going on this year. When the Snow Beasts were out, people were asking, are these cards auctionable? Are they tradable? And we didn't get an answer for 2 days. And that is annoying. When people were saying, are we going to get Ghost? Nobody answered anything until the promo was over. And we realized, we weren't going to get Ghost. If they would come out and be like, all right, these cards are Nat, in a blog or in a Twitter or just in general on the set description, people be more happy about that. Same thing with the Ghost. Just say there's no Ghost coming out this year. We got something better planned. As though people aren't expecting certain things. Because basically the reason why people are angry is because they expect certain things that we're not getting because of tradition. Mm-hmm. And if they were to just come out and be like, all right, we're not doing that this year. Something else we thought of might be a little bit better for this game. Hopefully you guys like it. And people, okay, that makes more sense that way. Instead of just kind of keeping everybody in the dark. And that's why I think that adds into people being angry at this company on top of all the other things people said. Yeah. With the power-ups, and Chewy talking about the +1s and 2s. That Telvin Smith, the limited time that came out for the Christmas promo, really solid card. Mm-hmm. Going for way too much, and you can go ahead and power up his 91 to 92 and have basically the same card. The only thing they increased on that card that was huge was his speed by 1. I guess you could say 2 if you have the Zero Chill uniforms. And then the other thing was a +7 to finesse move, which still is not top tier. It goes from an 81 to his 88. That's still not doing anything.
No, doesn't get the elite animations.
Yeah, so like it's not game changing as you would hope it would have been.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. So that he's more of like a 4-3 type linebacker than a 3-4, anyways. So, do I think people have things to be angry at? Sure, you can be angry at anything in your life. Do I think people take it too far and are maybe like the salt levels I've seen on the subreddit? It feels like it's gone too far, in my opinion. Sure, there are things that we don't like about the mode, but this game is far superior to 17. And I just want to. There's a lot of, I guess, crybabies. It feels to me outside of the communication issue Texas mentioned and a few other things. I think generally, okay, I'm not that angry. I don't think it's that big of a deal. A lot of these things, the fact that we didn't get ghosts, like we set ourselves up for that. Like, so what? We got, and then people complain there was too many out of positions. Aren't we complaining about a lack of content? And now we're complaining about too many out of positions and making this game unrealistic. Oh, who cares? It's MUT. If you want to play a realistic game, play Sim on CFM and play with 31 of your other friends. So I think MUT is made to be fun, and having too many out of positions seemed ridiculous. The only out of positions I hated were the Ed Too Tall Jones and the Taylor, because they had such good run blocking. You put a wide receiver, and you could just spam the runs and the inside zones, the tosses, all that stuff again and again and make the game worse. That's the only out of position I had a problem with. The college cards, the New Year's Eve content left a little bit to be desired, but it's something, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So I feel like the amount of anger I've seen for such small squabbles feels like people are just being little bitches. So I think because like a lot of times when we suggest things, we need to be able to pick our battles as a community. If we freak out about every little thing, guess what? They're not going to respect the actual issues with this game. They'll be like, oh, they're just freaking out about nothing again. That's just the community being the community. So, in my opinion, there are things to hate, but stop being a little bitch. And that's all I'll say about that. Anybody have any reactions?
That's all in well, telling people to stop complaining. They're just going to keep complaining about you. Tell them not to complain. So.
I know. I get roasted. I get roasted in the comments for throwing these other sides of the view. Like the thing is, like, sure you could complain, but don't make it like your I don't know what's that, a crusade. Don't make it your crusade. The fact that we didn't get ghosts. Okay, so big whoop. Like figure something. Like you could complain about it, but then like don't go on and ask for people's jobs and ask them to get fired. And that's kind of moving.
Yeah.
What's up?
It's just funny, though, because like, if they would have just gave us Ghost Woodson, people would have been happy. But because they didn't have a ghost tag on it, people are up in arms about it. But again, communication, tell us we're not getting Ghost. I don't know how hard that
100%.
is.
Well, you knew that, but they, even if they had released Ghost, people would complain about the Ghost that came out. The people will literally find anything to complain about on any promo for any reason at all.
Because they did complain about the fact that a lot of these legends are recycled. Like, we didn't really get anybody new this promo.
Yeah, we didn't get anybody new last year's promo except for Favre, right?
I believe so.
We may have gotten one other new guy, but we got I don't know. So here's the thing about complaining. So you know how we all bitched and complained about no limited time cards, and now people are complaining about only getting limited time cards as the New Year's Eve stuff. So it's like I know there are two different sides of the community. Like that's not the same people complaining about the same thing. So it's interesting. It's kind of like what we did with motivators, right? Where the motivators came out, and the motivators were like, "Oh, these are limited. Why can't we power up a motivators? You guys screwed this pooch on this one." And they made a set for them to make them non-limited so we could power them up. And then people bitched about that. Texas, we had this out. Thoughts?
Well, yeah, the motivator one was different though because they charged people money thinking that they were limited, and then they weren't. That's why some people were able to get refunds on Xbox. PS4 not so much. Whereas with this one, I think the people who are complaining about it are the guys that don't got the money to spend, and the auction house was just wrecked. And so, like, it was good to build a team because everybody's pulling packs every single day. But if you had a team, the value of that team was dropping every day with each limited time, which people are going to complain about if their team goes from 8 million to 4 million.
Yeah, the thing is, like, my team went down, but then went right back up. I don't know. Did you guys experience that? What?
I got a bunch of Nat players, bro. I don't experience any team coin loss at all.
How about you, Chewy or Slump?
I haven't actually been watching the auction that closely. My team's been at a 90 for probably 2 weeks now, and I'm happy with it. Like I don't really care what the price of my team is because it's not very often that I sell my whole team to try to upgrade it.
Oh, okay. So you don't do the whole sell-off before promo stuff?
No, I'm like I buy basically one player at a time. I find the worst player on my team, and I upgrade him to the best possible player that I can afford at that particular time that I'm trying to upgrade him.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting strategy. You just keep upgrading through the year, but you don't actually do a whole sell-off in like a shopping spree or something.
Yeah, not unless, like I did for the Madden Harvest. I went through and I did that whole thing. Or the Blitz promo is what it was. So at that point, I sold off my whole team just so I could try to do that promo. But I think that the strategy that I normally have of just trying to take the weakest link on my team and turn him into one of the strongest players has been working out for me pretty well.
Oh, yeah, that's neat. How about you, Chewy? Do you sell your whole team off?
Sometimes. I generally don't. I feel like I'm almost too lazy a lot of times. Like, yeah, I should sell it, but I'll just roll with it. We'll see what happens. This year hasn't really seen too big of... there's been times, like right before Most Feared, we see a huge drop, and then it ended up going right back up. It seems like there hasn't really been that huge... Even if it drops, it goes back up, and I feel like my team value is basically back to where it was, or sometimes, depending on what cards you invest in, they actually go up in value. I got Calais Campbell, limited time. I've had him since almost day one when he came out, the 95 or 94 overall. Calais Campbell, and I got him for like 500,000 coins. That's about what he was at. How much is he at now? Like, I think he might be around 500 again, 600. At one point, he was up to like 800, and again, it's a limited time card, so that probably helps. But for me, like, I don't really feel like the market's really... It's been kind of stable for most of the year. I haven't really seen... It goes down, but then it pops right back up, and I haven't really noticed like any like... Even if it's a crash, like the right before Most Feared... then everything started going back when there maybe wasn't as much content as people were hoping. I don't know. I haven't really noticed that huge drop that we usually see around even this time that Ultimate Freeze usually brings. I didn't really think it came, and if it did a little bit, but then it seems like it just popped right back up.
Yeah, it really depends on the promo. I think that Most Feared one, you're 100% spot on that it popped up when we saw the content that was coming at us. The only times that I've really seen it bounce down and stay down was for the Blitz and the MUT Heroes. MUT Heroes, took it down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely that. I think Team of the Year, and with that coming up, that'll be a drop and a stay down. And then because once we get Team of the Year, we get like Super Bowl promo, we get then Ultimate Legends come, and all that off-season content start to come right within like a few weeks' time. So that's why this time of year is always kind of tough to hold on at mid to late January into February, although it's the best time of year to be playing MUT because it's so packed and action full. Do you guys want to let's talk about that right now? What's coming up in the next few weeks, then we'll circle back to the rest of the agenda. So do you guys think we're getting a playoff promo? Slump, you're the most insider person. We getting a playoff promo?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is probably going to be something coming out for the playoff. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I feel like you're holding back. Yeah, you're holding back on us. What is it?
No, I mean, I actually don't have any insider information on this as of yet.
Nice.
And even if I did, I couldn't tell you. I don't think,
as of yet.
Under the NDA. But I do think it is safe to assume that there will be playoff promo coming out.
Which version of which Ultimate Team version would you want in this year's game, playoff content wise? 15, 16, 17?
I don't know. I can't.
Did we not get one in 16 or 17? Or no, 16 we didn't get playoff promo, right?
I don't know. I don't remember these things. I just said the numbers.
Do you remember
we got some in 25. We got
year?
some in 13. And what was last year's?
I looked at it. It was those every playoff team got one player. So we got remember the playoff LeGarrette Blunt?
Oh yeah.
Remember? Yeah, so each playoff team got one player, essentially. I think there might have been a Master Brady or something. I had to go back and look at I love Muthead because you guys archived your posts. It's easy to go back to last year and figure out what happened around that time. They're both on Muthead. I don't know if you guys see. I said that at the beginning of the podcast. I'll put all their links in the description.
We had the set for the 94 overall players, plus then you put those cards into another set for a Master card, I believe.
There it is.
That's what
Instead
it was.
Or is it a Visa?
Oh, I see what you did there. That was a bad joke, though. I need the ba-bum ba-bum sound effect right there.
Is that the Price is Right?
Yeah, I need that like trombone or tuba sound.
where they fail the failure trombone.
Yeah,
that'd be a good idea. You know all my jokes are terrible. So okay,
that one was particularly bad.
I don't understand how that's any worse than any of the others.
No, because
I don't. The only person that's ever laughed at one of my jokes is me.
And the 10,000 subscribers you got on YouTube, they all love your jokes. That's why they subscribe.
Nah. It's pity. It's literally all just bots. It's me, three guys, and a bunch of bots.
A bunch of sad people. Just a support group right there.
Yeah. Anyways, Chewy, what are you hoping to see in the playoff promo?
Honestly, I don't remember too much from the previous years. You guys talking about that. I do think there will be, which I think we pretty much would have probably all agree. There's going to be a playoff promo, most likely Friday. It would just make sense that we would see it Friday. Of course, you never know. But I would venture to guess usually promos come out Friday. So I don't know. I would just like to see some cards that were viable. I feel like there's a lot of times there's content that comes out that's like the main guy, like Team of the Week. Like, you have the heroes. You're like, oh, okay, those cards look good. But then it's like everybody else. Like even the 91s, a lot of times you're like, not that good. So hopefully we just get some viable cards. We'll probably, I don't really know what we're going to get. I just want to see some cards that are usable because it seems like a lot of times the promos, only have like one or two cards that really mean anything. So hopefully we see some good ones this year. And I anticipate it will be Friday that those cards will drop. And it should be a decent amount of cards, I would think, Friday. Maybe that's a little too hopeful, but I think there should be a decent drop on Friday if that is the day it comes out.
Yeah, so we got, our playoffs are this weekend. And there's a few things there I want to talk about. First, our current promo expires the 8th, which is after this weekend. So we'd have to get a promo during a promo that we already have, so we wouldn't get any objectives. Maybe it's just a card drop. But, Chewy, I want to there's something specific you said there I want to kind of get at. You said there's only one or two cards generally are decent. So now the MUT ecosystems kind of split into a whole bunch of different people. A lot of different people play this game. So some people are pissed at content while some people are pleased because their segment gets hit. Like me and you and I don't know, Texas maybe. These high end cards, they please our promo, our content area, or our people. I don't know what the heck to call us. Our consumers, because we're kind of high end content consumers. But the budget cards are more for the guys who got the game at Christmas or just starting out. So they got to feed them content too. So there's a solo grinders. There are all this one or two cards that are decent for us, but there might be one or two cards that are out of the price ranges for other people. So the more budget cards are aimed at them. So I don't necessarily think every promo needs a ton of top end content. Just a little bit of content for each segment. What do you think about that?
Okay. I don't like you trying to pretend like you're a man of the people, and I'm not, but I'll go ahead and respond. See, this is the thing. I think what I'm saying is that I would love to see cards that it seems like the high-end cards are good, the best at almost everything, and then the other cards are not very good. I'd like to see, we don't really see cards that are really unique a lot of times. There's very few unique cards. So I guess cards that are budget, we don't even get many of those. A lot of times the cards are just they just have a bunch of 80s across the board, or maybe they have one stat. So I just like to see, why don't they a card that maybe not as high overall, but it has really high block shed or really high finesse move. I don't feel like we get I feel like the variety is just not there. There's new cards, and they're just cards that are basically, I feel like they're, even on a budget team, they're useless. They're not even good cards. They're just all 80s or all 70s, whatever. That's what I mean, is they're not actually viable even for a budget squad. You wouldn't run it. I guess that's what I was saying.
And you comment about man of the people. I just said I'm not a man of the people. I have robot subscribe. I have nothing but bots. I'm a man of the robots. Hey, Slump, what do you think about that? About there's no good budget cards, or these cards aren't even good for budget teams?
Yeah, the problem is with gameplay this year, the way that the thresholds work, budget cards aren't the same because, if they give somebody 91 zone, you can use them on your team, but there's not going to be any variety on that. All the budget people are going to be running the exact same team because there's so few players that reach that 91 threshold, or whatever the threshold is that people are going for. 91 is just the easiest one to mention. And I think that because of the way thresholds affect gameplay this year, that's affecting the cards that they put out. Like the cards might be they might have just as much variety as they did in years previous, but they all play exactly the same on the field because they're either reaching or not reaching those thresholds.
Yeah, I agree. Like, okay, so they just put out a Deshaun Watson 95 overall quarterback card. If you compare him to Mariota, which I'm doing right now,
I think Watson's like better in everything, isn't he?
Here, I'll do the comparison.
Okay.
He's got +2 speed to Mariota. He's got 3 acceleration, 2 agility. Otherwise, he has this. So throw accuracy short. Chaos on Twitter, he's a competitive guy, said I think he did testing or something. He's thinking these throw accuracy are at 91, even though Rex said they're different. Like they go up in threshold, but Chaos said they're all 91 for each one of the 3 accuracy stats. So with that as your knowledge, Deshaun Watson has 90 throw power, 89 short, 88 mid, 85 deep. So 89 short, 88 mid. And this Mariota has 87 short, 85 mid. So both under the top threshold there. And the difference is 3 throw power. Otherwise, the cards are almost exactly alike. Mariota's going for a quarter of the price. So these cards are going to play very similarly on the field, but people are paying 4 times for the name and the fact that it's a limited card. And, of course, the supply of Mariota was great. But it's just like Slump was saying was, it's a tongue twister or something. The thresholds make them play very similarly, even though, ideally they'd be different cards and play differently because they're different people or representations of people. Texas, any thoughts on that?
That's one of the main issues with thresholds, that there's no need to upgrade outside of just getting better speed. That's why they need to increase the thresholds or just go back to how it was, where it just gets better and better gradually. So that's one of my reasons. Like one thing I hate about this year's Madden compared to last year's was there's a lot of guys you could use, especially with chemistry being as good as it was, a dual chem on cards. You can make a guy who was, let's say, not so great into like a beast. Like I remember Derek Wolf last year, 86, I could turn into a 91 overall, who had like 90 blocks, she had like 90 some power move because of chemistries. Whereas this year, you can't do that really. Like I guess all you can do is just maybe make like a Telvin Smith or a Jalen Ramsey have 91 zone with team training if they have 90. But other than that, that's not really anything you can do to make budget cards into amazing players for your roster.
Mm-hmm. That is a big disappointment. Slump?
No, I agree. And Tex actually pointed this out when you guys were on the Muthead podcast, is that really this year you can take ratings and just, it doesn't matter what name you slap on it. Like people are just, when you're building your team, you're only looking at ratings. You don't really care about the name on the jersey this year.
Yeah, 100%. And they've even screwed up ratings quite a bit too, as we've discussed. Like Julio Jones doesn't need 91 zone. On the Muthead podcast, we discussed it. All right, I kind of want to circle back to Texas, to earlier on the agenda.
Oh yeah.
People are mad at Texas almost as much as they're mad at EA. Now, why is this, Texas?
You would think I did something like scummy, like I was out here clickbaiting stuff. So
Did you show a dead body in one of your videos?
Oh, bro, like the reaction to Logan Paul was nothing compared to what I did. Like I broke the Holy Grail. It was wild, man. I didn't understand it. Like I didn't show a dead body. I didn't show no dead body. I showed 4 apparently, because they're all nat. So I made a video talking about how you could get this Cal Johnson for free because EA didn't confirm nor deny that the card was going to be nat for the Snow Beast boss. And I'm like, all right, it has to be auctionable, right? Because why would people do the set right now and then come Thursday, Friday, get another nat 93 overall? It has to be auctionable. Wrong. So EA made all those cards nat, and people were like, yo, you clickbaited this video. You're lying to people. I'm like, in the video, I'm pretty sure it's going to be auctionable, tradable. And I put in the comment section as well. Like, if you want to wait, you can wait. You got to do it right now. But people get really angry when EA changes something or when information is not the way they thought it was going to be. And then they decide to take their anger out on me, even though I was just doing my job with wrong information I got supplied. So my apologies, but I don't know why everybody's out here saying that like I need a girlfriend and I need to move my mom's basement. Like I don't get it. Like why we gotta go there? Like why we gotta be that hurtful? Like I was wrong, but I don't understand like these mean comments to me. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, you see, you clickbaited 46,000 people in your first free Snowbees Kelvin Johnson, and then another 15,000 people in your How to Get Kelvin Johnson under 250K video.
Yeah.
And you're saying they're angry at you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you can get Kelvin 250. It's just grinding, bro. I didn't lie about it. I broke the math down. Like, everything's good. Ain't my fault EA decided to be petty and make these cards nat. You even said they were auctionable.
I would not want.
You in your video said they were auctionable. I remember you see like you can farm this, and then they weren't. So you're wrong too. How come they don't come at your neck right now? Why aren't they angry at you?
Because I mentioned it like 10 minutes into a 20-minute Market Monday, and you titled your video it.
I mean, like semantics. Like it's still the same thing. Like you deserve some hate too.
And I did get some hate in my comment section, but not nearly 60,000 people strong.
Wow. Did you really think that EA wasn't going to make it? I mean, I know the logic makes sense. I have two. Okay, I have 293 Terrell Suggs on my team that are NAT. You know what? That's annoying.
Yeah.
But
like,
were they really going to allow you to get a free Calvin Johnson?
They allowed you to get a free Richard Sherman. They allowed you to get a free Richard Sherman who was going for more than Calvin was at the time. That was for most feared. And so like they allow you to do a lot of these things if you're willing to put the work into it, obviously. But I think because even Kralos said they were Nat and then they deleted the post off Muthead. So I'm like they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. 100%. I'm on Texas' side here.
I don't know, man. That would have destroyed Calvin's, especially because the actual solos, it wasn't like it was like the solos were like super fast though. Like
an hour
you would have been able to get Calvin in like an hour maybe. Like how long would it have
4
taken?
hours total. 4 hours total. Well, 3 if you just spend a little bit of coin on your main account. But yeah, it won't take you that long. Which I understand why they made him Nat, but at least say he's Nat.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't.
Hiding. People were asking questions like, "Yo, is he Nat?" Nothing. Is he Nat? Like y'all's job as communication directors, letting people know that's Nat, but y'all ain't saying anything until after the fact.
Yeah, pretty shady and crappy of them. Slump, what are your thoughts? Can you defend EA on that?
I can try. I don't know how necessarily like how EA's offices are divided, but like I really feel like a lot of the people that we talk to and that we kind of see as the faces of EA, like MUT Guru and Craylow are always out there tweeting at everybody. These people, they're on our side. They want to make a difference, but there's so many layers of red tape that they have to get through before they can either get the information that people are asking about or suggest the change, and then that suggestion has to go through, all these other layers. I just really feel like EA's their business organization is just not very good, and I just think that there's a big disconnect between what people want and then what the people that are at the top of the food chain hear, or what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the bureaucracy, and I think they have to go through the NFL for a lot of things, don't they, too?
Yeah, they have to go through for player-related stuff, like, for the legends, they have to go through the NFL to, the NFL Players Association to get the rights to make these legend players and stuff like that. But, I mean, even on a more basic level than that, like, if people are asking about, is this card a Nat, whoever you're tweeting at might not know the answer, and they might have to go through like 9 departments before, like they might not have even decided if it's going to be Nat or not at that point. And then, it's, 8 departments away before they can finally get an answer to tell people.
Yeah, I mean, who ends up making that decision? Is it like one final boss for MUT?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know 100% who's making these decisions. I do feel like the team is small. Whoever these final decisions come down to. And I really feel like with a lot of things, like when promotions come out with limited time players or stuff like that, I think that it's probably somebody who is not really a part of the Madden community that's making that decision. That's like a head honcho at EA that understands that Madden makes them a ton of money. So they're like, let's put more things in that are going to get us money. As opposed to what's best for the community, what does the community want?
It's always weird trying to get names out of people. Like when we've had MUT devs on, and like, so who's the final decision maker for MUT? And we've never gotten a name. Like it was weird. Texas, don't you think that Like we're like, all right, who does this? And like they're always hesitant. Maybe it's because like who does the pack odds? They're always hesitant to give out names because I don't know if they don't want us flaming them on Twitter because they didn't sign up for it. But like it's not like they're on Twitter. So like they could give us this like I don't know John Smith, and we could go angry at John Smith or something, even though it's just completely fabricated. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it always seems weird that they're like these fairies, like these. It's this other guy. It's this other guy. This guy behind the curtain.
Somebody's boss's boss. You know.
Yeah. And it's like this guy behind the curtain that we don't know, and he's the one you got to blame for all the bad decisions at EA. And we're like, okay, where's the wizard? And how the fuck do we get there and stab him in the heart or something like that? I don't know. I didn't watch you in that movie. So, so it's just weird. I don't know. Texas, what are your thoughts on that?
It is kind of like it's real. I don't get the whole secrecy of it. I understand that you don't want to give people's names out, like if they aren't able, but like. There's public information these people's jobs. Like it's not like they're a private company. We like you can give names out. Like I don't get it. Like if I go look at like SeatGeek's website, all their employees that work there are on their website. I can go look at it. Like I don't understand why EA is trying to keep everything kind of away from them. So it'd be kind of nice to see people can actually hear feedback directly as opposed to getting probably a cleaned up version of it, because maybe I understand feedback being in a positive way and in a helpful way is received better, but sometimes it's nice to kick an ass and get told that you're doing something stupid so that way they can actually change. But it's kind of weird that they don't want us to actually know who's behind these things unless you go down. I mean, Fox, you could go down there and talk to these guys, but you don't want to leave your house.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's the thing. How many other people have gone down? Like Slump's been down to EA. Mm-hmm. Like, what difference does it make? They're still making these decisions, right?
They are, but I mean, if they're on Twitter and they give people's names out, or if they're on Facebook, or if you can email them. Like maybe they'll get direct feedback and they can take it to their bosses and show them, as opposed to kind of having things get filtered out and not all the information, not all the content people are writing to them is getting shown to the right people.
So, Slump, do you think if I ever go down to EA, do you think I'd be able to get, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes alone in one of their offices to take a dump on their desk?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, good. All right, maybe I'll plan that.
You know, they have a giant ball pit in the middle of the conference room.
Yeah, but that doesn't send a specific message to one person. So what I got to do is find out who's in charge of MUT, in charge of these decisions for a lot of these things that we hate, and then take a dump. I don't know.
Well, if you're going to the Orlando offices, Tiburon EA, then you're not going to be in the right office in the first place, because the team that works in the Orlando office is working on Madden, but the people that are making the Madden decisions are not in Orlando.
Where are they at?
I don't know.
At their house on the golf
It sounds
course.
like you lie.
It sounds like Slump has information, and he's just.
Give us these names.
Yeah, give it to us.
I don't know the name.
Who's in charge of pack odds?
And I don't really know that this is how it works either. This is just
is number 2?
As far as I can tell, nobody has the final word. You know, it is the man behind the curtain.
Oh, okay. I was hoping to do a whole Austin Powers thing with you. And who is number 2? I don't know if you remember that scene.
Great scene.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all.
I'm trying to think right now, like,
joke.
who's number 2? I don't. Only thing from the Austin Powers movies is the Fat Bastard song. The Get in My Belly.
Get in My Belly.
That's all I remember.
Baby back, baby. All right, so moving on from people being mad at Texas to people being mad at MUT Guru and talking about EA and all that stuff. So MUT Guru has been a pretty popular subject on the subreddit, and this goes along with the communication. And they find him a little condescending on Twitter, and if it's called for his job. It feels like we get this at least once a year, if I'm not mistaken. People sending hate for Guru and asking for his job. So is it weird that the community hates the community manager, or is that just something that happens in every single video game? Because you know how much people hate Ronnie 2K, the MLB guys. I was a part of the MLB community for a little bit, did some videos on that, and boy, they were hated so hard. So, Texas, let me hear your thoughts on that. Is it just inevitable that the community manager is going to be hated?
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think of a community manager that wasn't, like, loved. Because I remember Robert Bowling called Modern Warfare 2. They hated that guy. With, like,
wasn't Dr. Disrespect one of the community managers back in that day for Activision?
I think he might have been one for Black Ops back then, but like every community manager that deals in talking to community gets hate because a lot of these guys aren't actually MUT, or not going to say MUT, just aren't gamers. They're just guys that work for the company. They don't actually play the game. Like you can get them on a Madden game and you can wash them, get them on a Call of Duty game. They don't know how to use a gun properly. So when you got somebody in that field or in that position that is quote unquote a noob, people don't like that because they can sense it every day. Like the sense it's like in prison. They know who the bitch is, and that's kind of how these guys operate. Now with Guru, I think his hate comes from like that Ryan 2K thing. I'm kind of glad he's gotten a little bit more sarcastic, even though it's kind of annoying. I didn't like how at first when he was the community manager, he was kind of sensitive. Like he kind of took all these things personal. Now he's kind of being an asshole, which I think that's the correct approach. Even though I don't like it personally, because I don't think that's how you communicate effectively. It's better to be an asshole than to be super sensitive about these people talking to you all the damn time. So I'd rather have that over what he was previously. So it's kind of cool to see him evolve into a different person over the time being when he was first starting compared to now.
So you just like that he's jaded now. That's kind of very nihilistic of you.
Hey, it was so bad before. Like it was just like, yo, why are we like? It was like a Drake song. I didn't get it. I'm like, why are we so sensitive right now? Why are we so sad? Like this is not needed. Like this is not how to handle this. Like you're gonna keep getting made fun of if this keeps happening. Like,
how long ago was that?
Like what Madden? What was it? Was it Madden 15? Madden 16? It was like probably a year or two ago.
Oh really? So he's just you just like that he's become just like hard on the outside and just like mean spirited and like you just don't care about him as a like his personality's kind of evolved into the dick.
Yeah, I mean he might have always been that, but he probably it didn't seem like that's what his personality was. Like I'm over here looking at Twitter, I'm talking to Vic, I'm like, why is he taking this so seriously? Like people used to get mad at him for like when's the next contest coming out? He's like, guys, I don't. Like, it's just like, then now he's just like he just trolls them back. And then I like that much better than the whole the whole Eeyore thing that was going on before.
I don't know if I like that evolution so much the way you say it. Like I don't necessarily think he's a dick, but I see what you're saying. Like you got to troll back because there's a lot of like I've gotten a few of those people like and they're just absolutely rude and there's nothing you can say for them not to be that way. I don't know if their uncle touched them or something, but they are just absolutely toxic.
Yeah, people just hate
hate
the world, and you can't do nothing to please them. Like if they're that way, just gotta let them be that way. Just go troll them back, and just no need. You can't not rational. You can't rationalize these people. Like they're just them. Yeah. So nothing you can really do about it. So I actually do understand why he's getting this hate, and he could change it. Just not saying anything, but people will get mad at that as well. So he's kind of stuck right now.
I got you. So Chewy, what do you think of this new and improved MUT Guru?
I don't even. I said this before. I didn't even know what his job was. Like there's these people at EA. I don't even know. Like Rex Dixon. Who is he in charge? What is he in charge of? Jake Stein. I have no idea. Kralo. I know he just started. Like I don't even know what his job is. And then we have I just found out during this conversation that what MUT Guru's job was. So I don't really follow it too much. So I wish I could. I didn't know what the old MUT Guru was like. I don't know really what the new one is like either because I don't really pay attention to what he says. I believe he's a Browns fan, right? But that's about the extent that I know. But when it comes to the hate and stuff, I think that generally is like I think it has to go. It comes with the title. Like that's going to happen. I'm guessing. Like I only really like pay attention to Madden, and I don't pay too close attention to the social media stuff, but. I'm assuming like most community managers, most community guys are going to get hate from the community, I think, and they're not even in charge of that stuff. It's kind of like they're kind of the in-between middleman, I guess, but I think that's generally going to be the case. I think probably most games, that's if it's not a good game, if people don't like it, which most, I love Madden, but we're going to be honest, not winning any awards for Game of the Year. I think we can say that. I mean, sorry, I'm spoilers, but they're not winning the Game of the Year for 2017 or didn't, but I think that's tough too. When you don't have it, when the game's not as good as people want, that hurts.
So, what do you think's the best? Or what about best sports game of 2017? What would you put as number one, Chewy?
I don't really play anything other than Madden. I'll tell you this. I thought NBA 2K18 is that what it is? 2K18. I think I played it for like 12 hours at most. I think that game's terrible. I thought that was terrible. So when it comes to, I enjoy like FIFA. I think overall FIFA usually has a little bit better game than Madden. But when it comes to like best sports game, I thought MLB The Show was really good actually. as well, which could maybe be the best one. I'm probably missing a game, I'm sure, but I will say, out of all the sports games I played this year, I do believe that 2K was the worst. And that's not.
I gotcha.
I think like MLB The Show I thought was good, but I thought 2K is terrible, and maybe it's better now. Maybe they fixed some stuff. I got it like one of the first. Like I got it early on, but I haven't touched it in a long time. So I don't know. Am I missing a game? I don't know. I think Madden's okay, but it's not. I think the sports game overall is kind of down this year, and actually for a while.
Let me circle back to the other two guys in the sports games. I just want to ask Slump, what are your thoughts on this new guru and the community's hate for him and basically his sarcastic responses in trolling people?
Yeah, I didn't know that he had started doing this lately, but I can definitely understand why he would want to. Being, the community guy for a community that, it's kind of split into two groups. Like, it's very toxic on one side, and then it's a great supportive community on the other side. And the great supportive community just isn't vocal, right? They kind of just play the game and try to stay out of... Because, like, as soon as you go on Twitter, that's when you see all the toxic comments. And that, literally every day of his life, he wakes up, checks Twitter, and it's just toxic comment after toxic comment after toxic comment. So, yeah, that's going to wear on a guy over time. And... He's been the community manager since Madden 13, I believe. So
I think 25.
25. Yeah, it might have been 25.
13 was a different team.
Yeah. So it's probably is 25. So for him to make it this far, before turning on the sarcastic mode, is probably... that's impressive in my mind. And Kralo might have something to do with that. Kralo might have given him the green light to be a little bit more sarcastic, and just try to bring his personality a little bit more to the channel, as opposed to what did you say he was Eeyoring?
Yeah, he's just like super mopey.
Yeah, so I know Guru. I've met him a few times. He's a good guy. I've had a chance to talk to him, and I know for a fact that he has the best interest of the community at heart, and he wants to, he wants the game to be good and something that people will come out and support. And I think he understands the flaws of it too, and the fact that he has to see the same complaints every single day over and over and over and over again. I can definitely see how that would take its toll on somebody.
Yeah, I get you. So I don't know if it's so new, this new guru. Like, it's been this way since 17, right, Texas? He's been this way for a while, right?
A little bit more sarcastic, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's tough because it's his job to take that heat. Like the big bosses at EA obviously don't want us to know their name. So it's kind of like in what is it, Mad Men, where Don's like, that's what the money's for. Like they pay him to take this kind of heat. They pay him to kind of be the lightning rod for the community, and now they got Kralo there too, also being a part of it. So it's an interesting balance. It definitely does. It's kind of like growing up and getting a real job, and you just get jaded and hated after a while. So it happens to everybody, well, most everybody, and not many people are glad to see his downfall, unlike Tex. But we'll move on. Hey, Slump, what do you think's the best sports game of 2017?
The Hearthstone expansion? I don't know. Yeah, I really only play Madden as far as sports games go. Rocket League is still great. That's sort of like soccer. Yeah. So I'd say Rocket League is probably my favorite. I don't think it came out this year though.
True.
So I don't know.
So you don't have it? You don't have a favorite sports game?
Yeah, I definitely, I can tell you I've sunk the most hours into Madden out of any other game.
So why are you afraid to say Madden? Are you just...
Well, I don't want to compare it to other sports games. Somebody's going to at me that FIFA's better, and I can't disagree. I haven't played FIFA, so I don't know.
Well, okay, it's a podcast. You're just supposed to have an outlandish opinion so that way people at you. It's all about interaction.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with Rocket League then. I think Rocket League is the best sports game of the year.
Good. It's better. It's like what is that? Pardon the interruption. Not interruption. What's that one with Skip Bayless now? Whatever. Just say whatever crap comes to your mind, and then it gets people talking. And that's how it works in the podcast world.
Okay.
Don't worry about accuracy of information. I'm just kidding. I'm submarining you guys' podcast.
I didn't know we were allowed to pick games that come out in 2015. July
If
7th,
it's still the best sports game of the year, you're allowed to choose it.
Oh, okay.
Texas, how about you?
I mean, it's obviously Madden just because like MLB The Show was fine, and then 2K was so bad like at launch that it kind of had that low user Metacritic score, the hell they call it. Rex pointed out in the podcast. Because 2K is fun, it's just a broken game, and they legit broke the game. Like that stupid ass, walk around and go buy clothes. Like I don't want to walk around in the world. Just put me in the loading screen, and me go buy a shirt, put me back in the damn game. I don't need to walk around like it's Grand Theft Auto. And so that kind of caused issues. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. 2K at the beginning, if you were on the West Coast and your friend was on the East Coast, you couldn't play together. It was because they had two servers for the East Coast and the West Coast, and they had to merge them like up 2 months into the game. And so it's Madden. MLB The Show gets like an honorable mention, but other than that, like it's just only one game. And it's not because I play; it's because it's kind of the only one that's out. It's like the best game by default. It's like Nicki Minaj being the best woman rapper, but like there's only one woman rapper, and it's her.
Wait, isn't there? What's that one that just did that? What did Kodak
Cardi
Black?
B?
No.
Cardi
Cardi B.
Like
Yeah.
she just got on the scene, but Nicki Minaj was like carrying the torch because she was the only one that was actually rapping as a woman.
Not to get into too much of the rap talk, but didn't? Never mind. I'm not gonna get into it.
Okay.
What about Lil Kim?
We still like she's like which no.
No.
Wow.
What about Carmen? I like Carmen.
Who's Carmen?
Well, look her up. YouTube.
Who is you talking about the white chick that does covers?
No, she didn't do covers.
She's white, though, right?
Anyways,
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I think this is the white chick that does covers. That sounds like inappropriate right now. But
are
I
we
think
talking
that's the
about
chick you're
Carmen
talking
Sandiego?
I think she did that "Look at Me
Good
Now"
times.
remix.
If
No.
Taylor Swift rapped, that'd be my favorite.
Oh, she does. She tries to.
She just did. She just did a rap.
Swift emotes in the chat. All right, so Carmen's an opera apparently, according to Google. But
With a
so
K. With a K.
Yeah, Carmen.
Carmen with a K.
So Carmen used to be. She used to do covers, and then now she's famous. She doesn't do covers anymore. But she got famous
okay.
on YouTube doing covers.
I didn't know that. I don't
Oh,
actually
is it-
follow her
oh,
that
that one-
closely.
that one girl, yeah, I've seen her covers of stuff.
Yeah.
They're like the old school covers or something on some of them.
Yeah, like she did like Super Bass by Nicki Minaj. She did that "Look at Me Now" by Chris Brown. That's why I was thinking like Carmen. But yeah, she's not a rapper though. She's a pop star, I guess you would say.
Okay.
So she's a star now. Wow.
She's a Vivo. If you have your own Vivo, you're a star. Like I think that's kind of stars, right? You have your own
Okay.
Vivo. You got your money.
So I'm surprised you're not on Vivo then. Tex.
Bro, soon enough, I'm about to take Chris Smooth's Vivo channel and run it myself.
Love it. All right, getting back to MUT. So I think here's the interesting thing. You guys said MLB The Show, and I played a lot of MLB The Show, and the thing was like it was unplayable at times early on with the server troubles. You couldn't even log on the first couple weeks, and it's interesting. It ties back to Madden here. Why have the servers been so shitty since Christmas? Is EA just unfamiliar with the Christmas rush on their games? Why am I constantly getting kicked off? Why are people getting booted out of games, getting weekend league losses? Why am I having to sit in the menus expecting to get booted off, and so I'm betting on cards because the whole thing's going to crash? What's the deal with that? Slump, you're on the hot seat.
Why are the servers so bad in general? I mean, like, why are the loading times so long? There are a lot of things that I don't understand about the coding of this game, and I mean, they definitely need to fix the servers. Though I'm like they're broken.
Yeah.
It's probably maybe that's why Guru's so salty. Maybe the servers are like in his basement and like people have been catching on or something.
And it's well, he gets free heating from the servers then, right? It's during the winter.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, sorry, he's down in Orlando. He doesn't need heating.
Yeah. Well, he does. It might snow tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's doing what?
It might
it's
snow
supposed to
tomorrow
be cold
in
down
Orlando.
there. I mean, it's negative 5 degrees in Ohio, but Florida, gets 30 degrees and everybody starts complaining.
It's supposed to snow at my house. I live on the beach
Wow, that's kind of cool.
in Florida.
That's pretty awesome, though. All right, so Tex, why are the servers so bad, and is Guru at fault?
The servers are bad because they probably have them all in one location. They're probably not like in multiple housing units across the United States. They're probably all in Orlando.
I think they're all in Redwood,
Where's that at? In Florida?
California.
California. So all in California. And so,
I only say that because somebody on the MUT subreddit did whatever server like a data tracker, whatever they do. I don't know. I'm not smart enough for that
goes
stuff.
back to California.
It goes to Redwood. Yeah.
Okay,
Microsoft.
so that's
I
right.
think
That's
it's right there.
one of the explanations because like usually games that have like multiple like big fan bases have servers in like multiple locations. to kind of like, we're not gonna say regionalize things, but make things go smoother. Whereas I think EA's kind of has everything, FIFA, Madden, like Battlefront, like all these games probably flowing through Redwood.
I don't understand why there's so like lag is bad, input delay is bad, and they're really just connecting two players. You know, like other games connect so many more people with like a lot fewer issues. I hate the EA servers.
They're bad
So bad.
right now. Like right now, I can't Weekend League. I didn't get kicked. Well, there was a few games I got disconnected, but both times I won. One of them I got disconnected, it didn't count, and another one I won. But and that might have been them just quitting. I'm not sure, but it comes up in the middle of a play. I'm like rolling out, and all of a sudden it comes with that, and I'm like, what are you supposed to do? Like it does that. You push a button, and all of a sudden you're like lobbing it up right to the other guy. Right in the middle of the play, it does that. I don't know what just happened, like with the servers where it comes up where you're having experienced like connection issues. Why that's come up now? When you buy a card on the auction house, sometimes it just kicks you out. And I've only noticed this in the past week, maybe a little bit longer. I'm not sure if it's the whole Christmas, just so many people on, but connection issues have been really bad. And I haven't really been getting kicked from games, so I haven't had that. But like in the middle of a play, or I can't like do anything because we're experiencing connection issues, and all of a sudden they hike it, and now I couldn't make any adjustments or something. I don't know if I don't know if anybody else is. I'm sure that's like experiencing that, but for me, it's like every game it happens a couple times that they experience connection issues, and then you keep playing.
That goddamn guru. So yeah, the connection issues. Are you talking about that pop up?
Yeah, what pops up, and then but you don't get disconnected. It just says connection issues, and then you're back.
They just added that, didn't they? In the latest patch. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So like in the past, if that ever happened, you would have just been disconnected at that spot. So now it tries to reconnect you a few times, which is nice, I think, and not give you a loss automatically unless your connection stays unstable. Then it will eventually drop you. So I think it was a nice addition in the latest patch. A lot of people are of course, this community. There's some people angry at it for some reason. But I don't know, Slump, you got anything? You're going to say something?
No, I was just saying that,
okay.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Gotcha. All right. Texas, any thoughts on the servers?
Hopefully they add more soon. I mean, you make $1 billion like every year, you should probably add some more servers.
Just drop
it's
another
weird
bundle.
how much. Yeah, it's weird how much money they make, but they like Slump said they still have a small team. Their servers are still crap. What's up?
It doesn't seem like they're reinvesting it into the game.
If you advertise a bundle, server bundle on EA, like people know the money is going to the server. I bet that would sell pretty well. People know they're going to the servers. This money is going directly. They like
It's
drop
like charity.
It's
like, buy this bundle, we'll donate all proceeds to getting better servers. Bro.
Yeah, and by servers they mean the servers on their G5 airplanes.
Yeah, I'm sure it would still not go to the servers that we're talking about. I'm sure there's some fine print that they won't disclose, but yeah, it probably would make them some money though.
Yeah, it's so bad. Slump, what were you saying about reinvesting?
I was just saying it's pretty clear that they're not taking their billions and putting it back into Madden. I mean, they're throwing a ton of money at the eSports scene. Payouts to the people, all the creating the sets, and hiring the people to go out and do the commentary and stuff like that. So they are putting a lot of money into that. But I think that most people would prefer that they put it into fixing gameplay, fixing server issues, and things like that, and let the esports scene develop on its own. Because like they're trying to force an esports scene when. It didn't develop naturally like I think other games do. Like when the top players come together and want to have some sort of competition or go pro, I think that Madden's going about it the wrong way. They're putting a ton of money into it. I enjoy watching it, but I just don't think I think that they're really just trying to force it.
Well, I think they tried to let it, 10 years ago, they tried to let the esports scene develop on its own, and it kind of failed, right? Like, they did that bus, EA and ESPN coordinated for the bus.
Yeah, the ESPN bus, yeah.
And then they kind of let that go. I think they didn't renew it after a few, it went 2 or 3 years or something. And then they kind of let the esports scene try and grow on its own, and when we obviously saw it absolutely died. And then they just stopped. They didn't even do a tournament in 15 after it died, and I don't know. Wait, no, they didn't even do a tournament in 16. They do one in 15? Or no, they didn't. Does anybody remember? They didn't do one.
I don't remember when the most... the most recent one I can remember, I think, is probably 2006 or 2007.
Yeah. But then, like, so yeah, the competitive Madden scene can't survive on its own, basically, is what we're trying to say. So EA did need to shoot it. I mean, and the thing is, like, the competitive esports, as much money as they're making, it doesn't need to be one or the other. It doesn't need to be servers or esports. It's just, I don't know. It's terrible how they're squandering the amount of money that we're putting into it. Texas?
What it needs to be is servers and no more live. Like, use that money from FIFA and Ultimate Team for Madden, and don't make NBA Live. And just put it all. I think they paid more YouTubers like the Jezzer and all those guys more money than NBA Live actually brought in.
Oh yeah, live just needs
Yeah.
to go.
Like, yo, put that in the server. Don't get no money. I mean, I'm glad those guys got paid, but don't give them the money that can go into server space
like
for a
live
game that's not even nobody's
I'm
gonna
sorry. Yeah, just 2K can have it. They got it. They gotta let that go. They gotta move on.
Funny thing about it is, like, we have no idea what these servers are. We're all just speculating on it being in Redwood.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna come out like, our servers are located all around the United States. I'm like, oh damn, you're right. My apologies.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, moving on from the server issues. So I kind of want to hear you guys' overall grade. Give me out of 10 for the Christmas promo. And yes, you can use decimal points. I want to hear from you first, Texas.
All right, part 1, I'm gonna give that a 0.
Whoa, what's
Part
that?
1, because like the gifts were terrible, which is all we wanted was good gifts. The opposition players were cool, but like, I'm not a fan of Bo Jackson at like right tackle, right guard. Like, I think Bo Jackson is the highest right guard in this game, which is funny to me. Like, we got a running back that's the highest live in the game. And I think what else did we get the first part? It was the out of position players. Like a lot of the guys that Derek Brooks is unusable, strong safety. So is halfback Derek Brooks. Michael Vick cornerback is unusable unless you have Tyrann Mathieu and Falcons team training. You can still use 90 zone, obviously, because he has good speed and he's great in man, but besides that, not great. Left end bet. It's like a lot of useless cards in that promo, so I'm gonna give that first portion a 0. But I guess the second portion I had to give like an 8 because the gifts were amazing, which is all I want for Christmas, man. Gift. I don't care about anything else around it. Like, I don't care about the decor and the like the stockings. Like, all I care about is the gifts, and we got great gifts second go around. Now, I didn't pull the big bundle, but if you did and you got that quick sale gift, you're pretty making like 100,000 coins there. That Telvin Smith, even though he's too expensive, is a pretty nice card. And the limited time cards that were in the second batch, I believe, are better than the cards in the first batch.
So, Texas, are gifts just a delayed pack? I mean, them being NAT, it's kind of like, okay, you got something cool, but we're just going to give it to you 3 days later.
They
Like,
basically are a delayed pack, but it's just the whole speculation what you might get. And it's, if you get a premium gift, like typically it might have been great, and then just not knowing what's like. Not knowing like if that's a good gift or a bad gift and being surprised by it, and then everybody just wanted. Specifically for me, I just wanted gifts. I just wanted to be able to pull packs for the gifts and redeem them for cool content. Now, you can argue that the gifts weren't like as fulfilling as they could have been, but that second batch, I don't think anybody was disappointed in the gifts they got, except for if you got 2 of the Thursday night uniforms. Like, besides that, like, everything seemed to like pay out pretty well.
Yeah, but again, like, what's the point? Like, if you would have known early, like, if you shook your box versus opening, like, there's no difference. Like, there's no absolute need to know what your gift was early because there's no trading, there's no auction house speculation, there's no way of making coins off it. Like, there's no real point. Texas.
You're right about there not being much of a point to the gifts and the fact that you can't, like, bulk buy a bunch of them and hold on to them if you know what they are or think they're gonna be something great. I just like the whole chasing element of it, and I think
but there is no chase. The only
There's
chase is opening packs.
One of them was a Fire Fantasy pack. What are you talking about? What's the chase for that?
But there's
like,
no chase there. All you got, you're opening packs for random stuff. There's no chase. You can't buy it. You can't trade for it. You can't do anything with it. It's just content a couple days later.
You're right about that.
There's no information. There's no information point. Like, there's no like reason to know ahead of time or to speculate and guess what your gift is.
But there is, though. So you can pull packs. Like, if the gift's not worth it, I can pull packs. If they're worth it, you're gonna go ahead and try to chase and get that one lucky draw, getting a pack you probably never get if you're like me. I'm never gonna get Fire Fantasy pack, never, unless I buy it, because I'm not getting head to head. So that's not happening. I'm not gonna win, get top 100 in weekend league for the month. So like the chase is there for those things if you know what they are, obviously. But I guess you're right in the whole grand scheme of things, where it's like there's not much here to chase. Unless you know what you're looking for specifically.
Chewy?
What do you want me to respond to? Like the overall promo? Respond to what do you want me to respond to?
It sounded like you want to say something with the gifts and there be no chase.
Yeah, I like the idea of opening. I like opening up presents, even if you know what it is. Sometimes it's nice to open up presents. I don't mind waiting. I think I understand what you're saying, and I've actually never really thought about it that way. I wouldn't mind if there was more, if there was more, I guess, variety in them, and why not just make them sell? Like, just allow you to trade them. Maybe not sell. Allow them to trade. I don't understand the whole not tradable sort of thing. Again, I don't know the control part, like why they did decide to do that. Also, when you get these, when you get onto your account, it's just like right in your packs. You already know what you got. Can't we open? I mean, this is a really small thing, but what about opening up the presents? Like opening up a pack, it like has like an animation. Have you opening up the present, all of a sudden something pops out, and whatever it is, maybe it's something really good, maybe not. As opposed to just logging on, it's like it's not even a gift. Like the whole idea of getting a gift, I thought would be like opening it, but then you just log on, it's like, oh, there it is. So it does kind of, to me, doesn't even feel like a gift anyway. There's a lot of things they could do different. I think just make them tradable. I mean, it seems silly. Like that is not, but that's the it is. A lot of people say NAT 18, but
yeah,
I don't understand that. But
your opening pack idea is a really good idea. The problem is we know how trash their animation department is at EA. Like they need to get Disney up in this bitch to animate their packs.
That'd be awesome.
They're both
so
the Christmas presents, the packs opening. We know the animations in the actual gameplay are trash. Like there's so many animation issues in this game that like they need to really hire. Like can they unfreeze Walt Disney here? Like is that still an option? I know his head's on ice. Can we get that thawed? Anybody know? Let us know in the podcast in the comments. Can we get Walt Disney's head thawed? Because we need some serious animations in the game. Like it's
bare
embarrassing.
Minimum. It's like basic coding. I'm over here looking at NBA Lives packs, which the game's dying, and they got better pack animations than we do. You got Fortnite better pack animations than we do. Like Fortnite you could pick what card you want in the pack. For Madden had it. Like, come on now. Like, yo, and that game just came out like in July. And so I'm like, like, why are these things so basic right now? And we're going to get basic again next year because it's probably not going to go over and beyond. We got better pack animations than Madden Mobile, and according to our man, Madden Mobile God, only 3 people actually work on that game. 3 people. 3 people! That's crazy.
And they get more content than we do on console. It's insane. Slump, what are your thoughts on animations in MUT? And the Christmas gifts.
I've said this before. I am absolutely against all animations. I every time. I mean, for opening a pack, that's fine. Like as long as it's not in the like actual gameplay, because any animation that happens in gameplay is just another thing that's taking control away from the user, and I hate that. Like for me, that would be my biggest thing. That if I could change anything about the game, I'd want to get rid of animations and make it 100% user skill. And it wouldn't look right. The animations definitely make the game look more organic, but it doesn't feel more organic. It feels like, I'm holding Y and hoping for the correct animation. As far as opening packs, though, like, yeah, go, make it fancy. Like maybe you can scroll a cursor over it and tear it open however you want. Like there's ways for them to do that. And I actually thought Tex was going to say, I'm looking at like Code Academy right now, I could do it, and he was going to offer his services. But
sign up for Code Academy class, go down there as a game changer for a week and just do it for him.
Yeah. But as far as the actual promotion, yes, to us to grade it 0 to 10, I'd probably give it a 4.
Wow.
I'd probably give it a 4 because I know that they were trying to balance a lot of new players coming into the game, and they want to give them the opportunity to get absorbed in the MUT side of things, and they want them to commit time to do the solos and try to get new cards and give them the chance to build up their team. I just felt like it was too gimmicky. I'm not a big fan of the out of position players. I think a few of them make sense, but for the most part it's just a gimmick. And so I think that they could have done a better job with the content that came out and made it more. I don't know. They could have done it differently.
So you like more simulation type content, like guys that are currently in the NFL to get cards?
Yeah, and I was thinking about this earlier too, is that before the game came out, they said that they were going to have 3 modes. They were going to have arcade, simulation, and competitive. And before it came out, I thought arcade meant that they were going to bring back like NFL Blitz style game mode, and I was super stoked about that. I loved NFL Blitz, and I thought they were going to put it into Madden as just, a way to pick up and, play some quick games just for fun. Arcade is just like rookie mode. Like, what's the difference? That made me mad at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and especially they've nerfed like fumbles and stuff in arcade, so
yeah,
it's really kind of...
They basically went after the people who play solos. That's the only time you play arcade. Like, they're basically like, so we're going to make solos harder because we think that fumbles are too common, though nobody plays arcade at all except in solos, right? Like, that's the only time arcade is even played. Like, I can't imagine playing somebody, hey, you want to play arcade where we can just chuck it up and they catch it every time? Yeah, sure, that would be fun. I just don't find that to be, at least, it might be like fun the first time you do it, but then it's like, okay, there's nothing. Like, all you do is just lob it up. It's like Madden 16 on steroids.
But EA had the rights to I don't know if it was Blitz, but didn't they have like a Madden arcade a few years ago? And it was basically exactly like Blitz, right? Like, just port that in. Like, they don't even have to change it. Just put that in the game. Call that arcade mode. Because that's what people think of when they think of arcade mode, not just that it's going to be the same exact game, just easier. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that is like more like crazy crap happening, like guys flipping over more, and I was like, wasn't it like 5-on-5 or something?
Like you're carrying players on your back for 100 yards,
like NBA Jam almost, but for football. Yeah. All right, so did we get Chewy's final grades on the promo?
I was kind of leaning towards Pi. Which is approximately 3.14, but I feel like that's probably a little too harsh. I do think it's somewhere in the middle. I wanted to be cool and throw out like Pi or like 2 Pi. That would be around 6.28. Maybe that's about where I'll go because 6.28. I'll round a little bit. That's not exact. Let's just start. Can I say this real quick? Pi is not 3.14. Okay, guys, it's an approximation. It is not 3.14. So anybody that tells you that pi is 3.14, that's a fallacy. It's a lie. Okay, next up.
Chewy used to be a math teacher, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing to really take a stand on. To really stake yourself down on. I will swear to the day I die.
I had to get that off my chest.
How many digits of pi can you get down to, Chewy?
I actually don't know that many. I mean, they have a computer that has gotten billions of numbers.
Chewy only knows 3.14.
That's all he knows.
3.14159, isn't it? I don't know. See that now I feel like
it is. Then 2653. Yeah, you're on the track.
Okay, so but then I have a pi tie that goes like 100 digits on the actual tie, which is awesome. But okay, anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and say 6.28, approximately 2 pi. It's an estimation. You said I was allowed to use decimals, so I'm doing it. I think the promo was. I don't think it was that bad. I wish the Ghost was there, of course, but I think the amount of limited times. People kept saying we want limited times. EA has put so many limited times in the past few weeks. I mean, how much you want to complain about all these limited times? I don't really mind more limited times. I'm completely okay with. I do think the lack of communication does bring it down a little bit with the Snow Beast. I did the Calvin Johnson set early on. It cost me $800K. Calvin was worth almost $800K. So to me, I'm like, of course, I'll just put him 4 in. And now I have 2 Terrell Suggs chilling on my team. One of them will probably just go into an elite token. That's kind of frustrating because I have 2 of them that I don't really know what to do with. So there is like communication issues that bring it down. But overall, I think it was okay. I think that we wanted the Ghost. I think the out of position players are a little gimmicky. All the Bo Jacksons being like the best players at like the best offensive line. Like the best left tackle through right tackle, like every is Bo Jackson or close to it. I think that's kind of silly, but it doesn't really bother me because again, it's offensive line, and for the most part, it's not like he's the best player at every position outside of running back. So I don't know. I feel like it was okay. I think the limited time. Anytime I get limited time cards, I like them. I know that there wasn't that much. I know the college players that they only had those 4 limited time cards, but I gotta say, we're talking about animations. The card art for those look amazing. They look great. That Deshaun Watson, DeMarco Murray, Rashad Jones, and Marcel Darius. I like those cards. I think they were good. The Rod Woodson was a really good card. Obviously above most people's budgets, but I thought it overall was good. Got a really good Chris Carter. Of course, I know in past years, the ghosts kind of make it sound like the promo is not that good, but I think for most people, we think the Christmas promo is generally the best promo of the year, or right up there. So the fact that it didn't live up to the hype doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad promo, just maybe not as good as it's been in the past.
Yeah, okay. All right, thanks. So, you know what I said earlier in the podcast about, people are bitching too much? I still believe that's true, but I still will go with the promo being lower than what Chewy says. I only give it a 6 because I'm taking away 4 points for their gifts being NAT. Like, this promo, while it's nothing really in my mind to really hate on or complain too much about, I just think it didn't have the pizzazz of previous year Christmases. It didn't have the excitement because of the gifts weren't auctionable. Like, you open them up and like, oh, okay, now what? Just wait, huh? Can't do anything with them? Huh. All right, well, that's it. So there wasn't. It didn't feel like the pizzazz. I think the limited editions though, it did bring excitement to the daily content, the daily packs, the opening pack stuff. It brought a lot of excitement in my mind. So I didn't mind the out of position. Didn't mind everything we got. If the gifts would have been auctionable, it would have been pushing over 9 for me. But that's it. Let's move on to the last team of the week this week. They're not doing it during the playoffs for some reason. Why is this? Do you think they just hate team of the week? Chewy?
Yes, I do. I don't know why. I think team of the week this year was really crazy about it. You remember when team of the week first dropped this year, they did a whole team of the week. This is the first time they've ever done that, right? Like, I don't remember, maybe before my time, but that was so cool. I mean, like, that was great. I mean, a lot of cards, and you talked about it before, more, I mean, maybe more for budgets, depending on how much budget you have. It's great. I think, a whole team of the week was really cool. I thought it was great. It was great in principle, but then I think what happened was that it's so much content, and I mean, it's not that much. How many is it? Like 26 players? So it's not like that much content, but to have like a player, like 26 players drop on a Wednesday, I kind of feel like they kind of just was like, okay, who needs an upgrade? Le'Veon Bell, no, let's wait for him. We're going to upset the community. But everybody else, let's go ahead and give them a card and then give them a few +2s and +3s. And I don't really think there's much thought behind it. I think it's almost a thing. It almost seems like it's I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for. It looks like it's almost like a chore for them to do it. It's almost, we got to do team of the week. We'll just throw it out. Like, it's kind of half-hearted. We'll just throw it out there. I feel like it could have been really good. And generally in the past, I think Team of the Week was good. This year, maybe Team of the Year will be good. I think Team of the Year, I don't know how they messed that up. I think it should be good. But Team of the Week, big letdown. Honestly, I'm not even excited about Team of the Week anymore. It's the last week, so I guess it's over. But I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, same here. Texas, what are your thoughts on Team of the Week? And if what am I hearing? Did I hear something? Oh, wait, no, that was on me. That was my end. Sorry. Something popped in my headphones. I'm like, what the hell is happening in Texas? So it was from my OBS software. Texas, do they hate Team of the Week? And what were your thoughts on Team of the Week this year and this being the last one?
I don't know if they hate Team of the Week because it's a good way to kind of milk a lot of the money out of guys, because people buy those bundles every week. I know personally I buy those with coins. I don't buy them with money, but it's a good way to kind of get people to excited about pulling the 91 overall cards. I think they like that, but it doesn't seem like they care about it that much, considering that I don't think we got one Team of the Week from Monday night, which is why they moved it to Tuesday, so they can add Monday night people. But it seems like they had their list ready on Monday before the games were even played that night. So it seemed like they were kind of mailing it in from that aspect, where you would think we would get a couple guys that had crate money performances, but that's not what we ended up getting. But I don't think they hate it because it was easy content, really. Like, you just go to the dartboard, just throw darts at it, get some randoms, low tier golds that we're all gonna pull, and then just make one chaser elite, and then just hope that the hero's good enough. So I think they liked that because it was kind of easy content for them to do every single week.
All right, fair enough. Slump, what are your thoughts?
Judging from the Muthead comments every week, I think the team of the week this year was a big flop, and I don't know if they're just throwing in the towel on it. They're like, oh, it's week 17, we can just end it, or if they've got something else planned. I don't know, but I wasn't a big fan of team of the week this year. It really felt like, Chewy said it right. It felt like a chore. I don't know that it felt like a chore for EA to do it, because it is just kind of systematic this year. They're just kind of, or formulaic. They're just kind of choosing who had a good performance, who doesn't already have, a top tier card, plug them in, add a few +1s, and call it a day. It's easy content for them to make, and I'm sure it made them a ton of money. But it's almost a chore for fans of the game. Like, we go and we check it, and it's like I check it every week, and I'm like, I don't even know why I'm checking this anymore, because I'm not going to want any of these players for my team. And the player that I do want, the one, like if a Jaguar comes out that's the hero, I'm not going to be able to afford him without putting in another 15 hours into sniping, So I'm not a fan of Team of the Week. I'm glad that this is the last one. But I do hope that they come out with something that's better to, because they are going to need weekly content. So I do hope that whatever replaces it is going to be good.
Yeah, can you imagine them like getting rid of Team of the Week and nothing replacing it? Like, so right now we got no content on Monday, Team of the Week on Tuesdays, well, Wednesdays now. We have predictors, nothing on Friday, and then like the limited Thursday night cards and legends on Saturday. Like, there's no weekly content outside of promos if Team of the Weekends, they don't replace it with something. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing.
Yeah, and it's bad timing for them too, because Christmas just happened. So many new people got the game and they're trying to get into it. You'd think that they'd be wanting to put out more weekly content to keep people engaged and coming back to the game. If nothing's coming out, people aren't going to want to keep picking up Madden all the way through the Super Bowl.
Yeah, kind of crazy. So with that, I don't know. Hopefully we get something in the playoff promo. We talked about that earlier. Tex brought this up before the podcast. I kind of want to ask you guys what you think. Should holidays be an excuse for the lack of content? Like, they were gone on holiday. We didn't get our power-up players. We only got 4 limited time cards people complaining about. We talked about that too. But, like, and then, like, Team of the Week ending, like, if we don't get any content this week, is people going on vacation an excuse for EA to not put out content? Slump?
I've got 2 thoughts on this. Yeah, I want people that work at EA to be able to have their holidays. I don't think it would be that difficult for them to be able to plan ahead, and have something auto-release. So I don't necessarily think it's an excuse not to have content come out. But the way that it seems like they're working now is kind of, day-to-day. Like, it almost feels like these promotions they're throwing together at the last minute. And if they're doing that, then they don't have the time to plan ahead for something to come out ahead of time. So it is a good excuse not to have content during that time. Because, if when there's nothing going on, the promotions that they're coming out are feeling thrown together, imagine what it would be like if they're trying to do it while also trying to celebrate the holidays with their family and spend time with friends and things like that. It'd be even worse. So
yeah.
I'd rather nothing come out than something that's even more half-hearted than what normally comes out. But ideally everything would feel more put together, and they'd have a more solid plan in place, and they'd be able to put something on auto release over the holiday season.
Yeah, I feel you. Texas, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it makes sense because it does seem like this year they are redlining like they were last year, because everything kind of seems to be like not scheduled. Like, I feel like if you knew, like, for example, you're gonna drop a Snow Beast, what's that boy's name? Wow, Shaq Thompson, like, his power-up set should be auto-releasing on that Friday, but it feels like they're kind of just putting these guys in the game at the last minute. My thoughts on the whole holiday excuse, it's weird because people praise them, or they want praise for dropping cards while holidays going on, but if we ask for something, they get angry. Because, like, I don't get that. So we're out here saying, yo, thank you for putting limited time cards in the game. We know you're busy. Christmas time's right here. Appreciate it. But in the same breath, hey, where's my power-up set for Kyle Juszczyk? Well, we're on vacation. Huh? How's that work? You can't have it both ways. And so that's the one thing I hate about it. Like, I don't think that a company that kind of traffics in daily content should be able to take vacations around this time when people are actually actively trying to play. I feel like you should probably reserve more vacation time around the summertime. Now, I wouldn't want that in my workplace, but it's a different workplace.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, do they not employ atheists?
Right?
Don't celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, like, there's a lot of things they could possibly do. Have one person there at the bottom of the totem pole that has to come into work that day. It happens to every job in the workplace. People don't want to work on Black Friday, they have to. People don't want to work on Thanksgiving, they have to. Like, I don't get it. You're a company and you have to gain that traffics in daily and content, like daily releases. Like, you should probably have somebody there to put this stuff out as opposed to having us wait a couple of weeks. for something that should be in the game right away, because we think you forgot because you don't communicate anything with us about, oh, we'll add it to the game after the fact. Like when you have things coming to the game every day and then nothing coming to the game, and use that excuse like, oh, well, we're on vacation, so be happy with what you got. That's not good enough.
Well, Tex, when do you want them to take their vacations? Because
when
if it's over the summer, I mean, that's when I want them working on the next game, so that when it comes out, it's gonna be better.
Well, the EA content guys, I don't know, they're not like the coder guys. So I guess the Madden guys who are actually making the game are probably done with it like earlier than that. But I feel like if you're like with the EA team, you could probably take vacations and stagger time, like have like dates where the game's not being played actively. Like you can't take a vacation when your game's like being played by everybody. This is Christmas break. Like everybody's playing this game right now because they're home from school. I don't know how many people got the game this past couple of weeks where they're like, oh my god, Tex, what do I do here, what do I do there? And then like they should probably keep bombarding content for those that are actively playing right now, because this is probably when their highest engagement is, probably right now up until the Super Bowl.
So Tex, I couldn't disagree with you more. I don't think I should. I mean, obviously some people have to work at EA to keep the servers running and all that stuff, but I think they should be able to take time off over the holidays for their families and stuff. But like you said, they should have content pre-programmed because they already have it, so they should be able to think ahead of time. And I don't know. I think it's a mix. Yeah, take vacations now, stagger it, and that's something that the workplace needs to carry on business during these important times for the business. Like shops are open, a lot of places are open, movie places. So I don't know. I'm with you on one hand, and others ones, like some people should be able to take off too. So Chewy, any thoughts on that and vacations, and is that an excuse for a lack of content?
Is it an excuse? Yes. Is it a good excuse? I don't know. I think what we always think of EA bringing in a bunch of money, or I mean, really, we got to look at the team that's making this content is not as I think not as big as we think. So there's only a few people, making this content. So to me, the easy response would be that, I mean, can they just especially during these times of a lot, have more people working on it, or have more people on the maybe get some interns in there, maybe they work over, that's your part of your people on the totem pole, maybe are in charge of this to make sure stuff goes out, but they don't necessarily have to make new content, all this content. But you would think there's certain jobs, I was kind of with Texas with this, there's certain jobs where you have to work during certain times. And I'm not going to tell EA, the people at EA, they shouldn't be with their family on Christmas. But I do think, there's certain jobs that there are where you just, you don't have that luxury every single year, or sometimes just, depending on where you're at on the totem pole. I'm thinking, the only example I could think is, really, you guys talked about, I used to work in a retail. You have to work on Thanksgiving, or Black Friday. It's swamped. That's part of being the job. You can take vacation another time. And that's you're missing out on your family, but unfortunately that's the job you took. I do think it's an excuse, and I think it's a good excuse, but we're looking at it from okay, a lot of these people have been there for a long time, and I do think that there is sort of that seniority sort of thing, that it just seems like there's just not. I feel like if there's more people working on it, this wouldn't be an issue. But I think it's just such a small team that EA hasn't invested that much money into the game. The staff is small. Makes the content not as good and everything. So, and then when people take vacations, the content is really bad. And I think that's really what's hurting, is really just the lack of money that EA puts into this game as a whole. I think hurts the whole experience, and especially when people want vacation, and I can't blame them. I would want to take vacation too, but I think the lack of resources they put in the game is really, really a big part of the issue.
Yeah, and it sucks to see, and because it just makes so much dang money, and they don't seem to reinvest, like you say. So, I don't know. Any other thoughts on that, guys, before we move on with the holidays? I don't know. My opinion,
I'm just saying,
shared. Yeah,
I'm just saying, do not be like, hey, when people say thank you, retweet the compliments, but when they ask something, get mad at them. It's not how it works. Either drop the content when it's supposed to be dropped, or don't drop anything at all. I hate how they can have their cake and complain about other things as well. Annoys me.
Hey, Texas, on that, what's your power-up theory?
All right. So a sub of mine, I think it's a sub of all of us here, actually, because we're all great people. me find this tweet.
Speak for
He has
yourself.
this theory about power-ups and why EA keeps doing it the way that they're doing it. So my man Laron, he says he thinks that they're making power-up players limited time because people were complaining about it being a coin sink. So this is a way to limit the coin sink because they're limited, they hold value, and then it also goes into minimal upgrades since it'll be such a big jump. So that was his theory. What do you think about that?
Well, one, it's not a coin sink. It's a card sink. Two, no, I don't buy it.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't buy it either because I can't use the card that I powered up if I buy the limited time version. So, like, they're making. I don't think that EA's thinking about it that deep. I think EA just gets into a bind and they just want to get a card out and they forget they have a power up set. That's my guess. Because like, there's no reason that they keep giving cards power ups that have. I mean, a limited times that have power ups. Like that Telvin got a limited time card. Don't understand why. DeMarco Murray got a power up. I mean, as a power up set, but also has a limited time. Like, what are we doing with this? Like, I don't get it. So I think they just don't pay attention or care. Yeah, they don't care about making it like make I don't make sense, but they don't care about putting out players that don't have these. So like with Von Miller, for example, with the what do you call it? Motivator. There's a lot of left outside linebackers that they could put out that don't have power up sets, but they keep putting but they don't care. They'll put out Vaughn because he sells packs.
I think 3 of the 4 limited times that came out for the games, I think they Darius, Jones, Ian, Murray, I think all have power ups. Watson, I think, is the only one that doesn't.
Mm-hmm. And why? Like, they know they have power ups. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they just chose these guys based off of not paying attention. But I don't think EA's thinking about it. Oh, we want you to be able to use this card. No, I just think they just don't care, and they don't really want you to be able to power those cards up.
It is weird, yeah. Like, there's 32 left outside linebackers in the league, and they picked one of the. Well, how many power ups are at each position? What do you think? 32 divided by 22 times 4. Wouldn't that be right? 20, because there's 32 teams, 4 in each team. So what, 130 or so, and then divided by 22 positions, right? I don't know.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, so at each position there are. I'd have to do. What,
I guess
Chewy,
there's not
math.
22 positions though, because like wide receiver, like you only
Has
like that was
1 and 2.
So you have the 5 linemen, you have a tight end. There's 6, quarterback 7, running back 8, fullback 9, wide receiver 10. So maybe like 20 positions.
Okay, 20 into 130 is what, 6.5.
Yeah.
So at each positions there's like 6.5 power ups, and there's 32.
Assuming they're equally,
Yeah, distributed, and there's 32 players at each of those positions that start. So yeah, Texas is 100% on. There's a good majority of this league that doesn't have power ups that you could make these cards out of. But Von sells packs, so that's why they go with them. I don't know. It's just so much regrets here in this game. But I guess one last thing, then we'll wrap it up. I had this conversation on Twitter. Is there not enough endgame content? Like, after Sean Taylor, what's there to do? Like I compare MUT to like an MMO a lot because there's a lot of grinding, a lot of stuff you got to do either head to head, solos to grind against the computer to kind of get content to build your team. It's a huge time sink that a lot of people put as their only game of the year. They'll buy Madden and play MUT. So where's our endgame content? Where's midseason master? What's the deal, and why can't they provide us more endgame content, Texas?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. Like, it seems like they're just trying to make this game kind of stretch out, so they probably could give us a lot of content right now, but they want to kind of have this last until like August of next year, which just seems to be their trend because a lot of the things that we're getting keep getting pushed further and further out. By endgame content, I might not be saying it well enough. Like, there's a few different versions. I may have misrepresented. Like, endgame content, like in the MUT sense, would mean endgame cards right now. I'm not talking about. Okay.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking
so
about endgame cards.
Sean Taylor being like not 99, but he's gonna be. I got you.
He's like a master set. Okay.
Something to work for.
I feel you on that. I mean, only card that we have that's in game right now is gonna be the LT. It looks like.
Oh, no, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I'm not talking about endgame cards. I'm talking about like content that you can do after you've like grinded for Sean Taylor. Like, once you hit max level, what are you doing? There's like no bosses to fight. It just go back to head and grind more solos. That kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Anybody else want to take this while I think about this real quick?
Slump?
I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Chewy.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think there's. I mean, the MUT Master. This was the first year I did it. I think generally, like, this is always a positive thing in the community, and the fact that we didn't have like mid-season, and I think working towards something. I mean, everybody loves. Not everybody, I guess. Not everybody loves. Sometimes you just want to pay and just have it over with. But a lot of people who play video games like the grind of like working towards something, or building up. Yeah, those boss fights, in a game, or what Fox said. So I think that generally that's a miss to make the game interesting. Because right now the only thing that we have is you buy better cards. Like, that's how do you make the game more interesting? Oh, you just buy a better card. You're not really working towards anything. You don't. If you win a bunch of games, there's not really much that you get for that. There's not much rewards. You still don't get a reward for winning a Super Bowl in all Madden, which they need to bring that. But there's really not much to work for right now, and I think that's a miss. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they forgot and then it was kind of too late for the mid-season one. I wouldn't be surprised because it's such a popular thing. I don't know why it wouldn't be included. So if anybody has any other ideas of why they didn't have it, I don't know. But I think they might have just forgot.
Slump?
I mean, I was going to say that I think the grind is disproportionate to the rewards. When you look at other games, even like Fallout or something, how many hours, does it take into that game before you can have all the endgame gear? Or like if like to play Borderlands all the way through, and that's a game that people play over and over and over again. So it's not an issue of you get the final stuff and then you just stop playing it altogether. I think that Madden needs to do a better job of having. I don't think that the grind needs to be as long, and I think that the rewards need to be a lot better. If somebody wants to buy Madden and build up an ultimate team, they shouldn't have to put thousands of hours in to do it. They should be able to do it, in their spare time on the weekend. I don't think that the grind needs to be an endless cycle that takes you from day one all the way until after the Super Bowl for you to finally get a 99 team. I'd be okay with, you put in a certain amount of hours doing solos, you play a certain amount of games, you have a certain winning percentage, whatever it might be. I think that there's a better way to balance it than right now, where you do this ridiculous grind for part of the rewards of these sets, and then you either have to spend money or you have to learn how to snipe on the auction house. And now, apparently, if you learn how to snipe on the auction house, you're going to get banned from the auction house like Chewy. So it literally is impossible for people to even get a top level team without spending money or just spending thousands of hours. And I don't think that that's fair, especially to kids who just get the game for Christmas and they want to be able to go on and compete, but how much time do they actually have to put into the game? I can put in a ton of time because I work on Madden all the time. Chewy can put in a lot of time because that's his career. That's what he does. You can put in a lot of time. We're the outliers where I think most casual players at home don't have the time to put into this game, and I think that they should be able to enjoy these high-level cards even if they're not rich and they don't have a ton of time to spend on the grind.
Yeah, but they're filthy casuals, and should filthy casuals have endgame content, or is that a thing that's just going to get people bored if you can put 40 hours into a game and then you got everything?
Well, another problem with MUT is that you can't reset. I would actually love it if you could, you could build up your MUT team. You could do it one way, go through all the solos, save up all your coins to build a specific type of team. Then once you get that, you play a few games with it, you realize you want to build a different team or new cards have come out or whatever it might be. Hit the reset button. Now you can do all the solo. You start with the base team again, but you can go back and redo all the solos, all the challenges, get all those coins, and build the team the new way. I think that would keep people engaged for the whole year.
Oh, so you're saying that's how you'd solve your thing about it's more about the journey than the final destination?
Yeah.
In your okay, so but it's just for people who want to do it again, huh?
Well, I mean, if you don't have to do it again, if you build up a great team and you're happy with it, and new cards come out and you have the coins to put those cards on your team, that's fine. I just think that at any point somebody should be able to hop in, start if you go through all of the solos and challenges and things that they have for you, at the end of doing all that, you should have a top level team.
Huh. But like, what's top level? Like, you'd have the Kelvin, you'd have the Carmichael, you'd have everything that, like literally the 95, 96s overall, if you finish all the solos?
I think that you should be up there in the high overall. Yeah, like I mean, I think that those rewards should be part of it for these people. Yeah.
Okay, interesting opinion. I can't say I really. I mean, if you finish all the solos, where do you think your team would be at right now, if you could estimate it?
I actually have no idea because it's been so long since I've done the gauntlet and things like that. I don't know what the rewards are for it and what that would translate to in the current market.
Not exactly sure because there'll be a lot of Nat players, and if you're not buying any contracts, you obviously have a lot of coins plus the Khalil Mack and the Odell Beckham. So your team would be kind of nice if you're just playing solos. It's just going to take a while because you have to spend money to play the Gauntlet, not the Gauntlet, the Gauntlet Unleashed if you don't have the players, obviously. And then with the team leader ones, you got to spend coins in that as well. So your team would be decent. Like, it'd be full of the, if you finish all the solos, it'd probably be full of some 85s to 90s plus the Master cards, and then some of the team leaders, the 86s. So your team would be kind of solid, but it'd probably like at max maybe 90 overall. If you play all the solos right now, it's not worth it though because Journey is terrible. It's waste of time. So you wouldn't want to play those. And then even the solo challenges for the what was that game called Long Shot are not worth it.
Yeah.
Well, it just takes forever to do, and just for. I just think that a lot of people that hop into MUT are missing a big part of the game because they never get to experience how different the good cards are from the ones that you're given or that you earn.
Isn't that what MUT Draft is for?
Now.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, I guess you can hop into MUT Draft and play it, but the rewards on MUT Draft are terrible too. Like if you're thinking about most people when they hop into the game, if you're spending your coins on MUT Draft, you are going to lose a game. You're going to be eliminated. That's 15,000 coins. Goodbye. And even if you win them all, you're only making 5,000 coins. So you're not, obviously you'd want to build a team. I mean, I guess it's not obvious, but I would want to build a team that I could have and that I could use. So, I'd be okay with MUT Draft if once you found a team you like, you could just keep playing with that team until you decided to reset it.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's an alternate. Obviously, MUT Draft, the reason that makes it kind of cool is if you lose, you're done with it. But as one thing. I see what you're saying with MUT Draft is building. Maybe some sort of... I know Hearthstone did a dungeon run type thing where you can keep building to your team as the further you get down in the dungeon. You keep building to your deck. So you can keep... you get a selection of a few cards to add to your team after each game won. That'd be kind of a cool addition to MUT Draft. Kind of what you're saying is you get to keep your team... But if you, I don't know. I kind of like the if you lose, you're out kind of focused of it. The rewards need revamping, but I don't think that's a terrible that. There's such high stakes there.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that for people to continuously be able to play it, you have to be able to win or make coins some other way, and that is really what the issue is. Is that if you're playing MUT Drafts, even if you're good at the game, you're still going to end up probably losing coins a lot of the time because get it. When you lose, you're just 15K in the hole.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. So they'll only repay you in like a pack or so. Yeah, I agree. We've been complaining about MUT Draft rewards all year. So I don't know. Texas, you wanted us to circle back to you on these Endgame content and stuff, and I think Slump's got an interesting opinion. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys have a similar opinion, or if you're on iTunes, then I don't know, write me a letter and mail it to your Postmaster General. I don't know. I'll get it somehow. Texas, what are your thoughts on Endgame content?
Been thinking a while about this, and I just don't know. I with it being in this game this year, I don't know. Have you ever in previous years of Madden, have you had in-game content this early? Usually, or no? Y'all know?
Well, I'm just thinking like one of the Masters, or what would you So
well, the Masters
when I think
have been kind of going down and down ever since. I know Gronk was good last year up until a certain point, but ever since Sherman, I think our in-game content has kind of been what it is now, where it's just a 95.
Yeah. So I agree with you. What I'm trying to get at is By endgame content, I mean like something for like the people that have a maxed roster. You can only do head to head right now. Like in World of Warcraft, if you hit the max level, you could go do dungeon runs or PvP, that kind of stuff. Like there was things that you could do once you've hit the max. Like there's
Destiny
just
with raids and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know a guy suggested this on Twitter. I don't know if it was VQ or if it was Dom or if it was Eric. He was talking about with the MUT master. I know MUT levels. He was wondering how come we can't prestige. 'Cause that could be a way to get some in-game content. Is letting you prestige at level 40, then you get double, like 1.5 times XP, and then you get more exclusive packs in the store. They could do stuff
That's
like
a good
that.
idea.
But
yeah.
I think this is like an experiment year. They're trying things out, and I doubt a lot of the stuff we see in this year's Madden we'll see next year. I think like everything right now all points towards like we're trying things out. Because even like the downgraded chemistry, they're gonna probably change that again to make it better next year. Thresholds may not be back next year because they're trying things out. This game seems more like an experiment than anything.
I can see that. I mean, they experiment with the game every year. Like, we don't want them to give us the same same game 2 years in a row, right? Wouldn't they just make it boring?
We don't want them to do that, but we've been playing Madden for the past decade, and it's been the same gameplay. So, like, I don't know what we want, really.
True.
Like, it's gotten better, obviously, as the years progress, but, like, I mean, from, like, 08 to 09, like, what really changed? Vision cone's gone? I can't sprint no more unless you tell me to do it for me. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Does MUT need to change more year to year, Texas?
I think it does kind of stay fresh and stay new, but like stuff that's working, I don't know why. I mean, just prove upon that. Like, it's kind of like building on a good foundation. Like, if the chemistry last year was great, build upon that. It's like this year, they changed chemistry completely what it was last year, and they downgraded, and we still haven't gotten anything great. But then with the abilities, they built upon that. Now they're like, never stumbles, use it. Like, last year, never stumbled, it was fine. This year, it's like glitchy.
Yeah.
And they built upon it. Secure Protector still doesn't work at all, but it's better than what it was last year. Playmaker is so much faster, so it's like they did a lot of stuff upon certain things, but then they went back and reverted to things that we didn't need. And so they're going back. They're giving us different stuff. It's just also giving us stuff that we don't want.
Yeah, Chewy, do you think MUT needs to change more year to year, or are you fine with similar stuff every year?
I don't have a problem with similar stuff. I know it can get stale. But there's always going to be, like, you know, like, obviously I always want, like, new legends and stuff. That's always fun. But I think, I mean, they're exploring, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, and try to go, you know, mess with that. I do say, like, when it comes to, you know, chemistries, that was one of the most popular thing last year, I thought. I loved it. I thought a lot of people liked it, I thought. And then they decided to take a big step back with that. I'm not really sure why. When I got really excited when they said team chemistry, because then it made me sound like, wow, you can run an all Texans team. You know, if you're a fan of a fantastic organization like the Texans, you can run an all Texans team and have a competitive team. Well, that's completely false. I have my all Texans team on PlayStation. It's like an 83 overall, and nobody can do anything on the team. So I feel like I got really excited about that. I thought chemistries for teams was really exciting, and I'm completely okay with that being part of the meta. I think they were saying, like, they didn't want it to be part of the meta, like certain team chemistries and stuff. I'm like, I mean, they have a John Madden coach out there that gives +1 speed and +1 to every stat. Like, you don't mean to tell me that the best players aren't going to have John Madden? And as the last I checked, it doesn't even count towards your salary cap. I don't know if John Madden does, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't even count towards your cap. I know, like, chemistries don't this year as well. So I don't know. They're like built in with the player. So I feel like they do take some steps back, but as long as they keep, I mean, I would like to see them bring stuff back that works. I feel like chemistry will be, like Tex said, like, I do think they'll bring that back, sort of what they did in Madden 17. Some of the stuff they're doing this year hasn't worked. People aren't happy with it, so I do think they'll, change that. But as long as they keep improving on what works, listen to the community, I'm completely okay with the same stuff, sort of the same sort of programs. And Chef for Stars, can you bring that back? But, like, stuff that people like, and then, get rid of stuff that don't. Obviously, explore, throw a couple new promos every year and see what people respond to it, and then bring back the stuff that people like.
Yeah, I agree. Slump, what are your thoughts on it changing year to year?
Yeah, so one of my biggest fears is that we're going to get trapped with some sort of system that works, because at some point Madden and FIFA and all these games are going to go to a subscription base instead of a new game. So you pay a certain amount, and you'll have, access to Madden for the year or whatever. I feel like when it goes to the subscription base, we're going to be stuck with whatever version of Madden it is at that time. And if we were stuck with Madden 17, then I don't think that it would keep a lot of people. I think that the system would eventually, like, they'd have to revamp it at some point, and I just don't know when you can do that if everybody's on a subscription base. So yeah, I mean, I am a fan of MUT changing every year. I think that it should always build upon what worked for them and just eliminate things that didn't work. So I do want it to change, but I do want them to keep the things that everybody was a fan of. Like, I think that chemistries were a pretty big hit this year, and the fact that, they're basically eliminated this year.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is they can easily go back and just change it, but they're not going to. Like, they can easily just go and put the chemistry they had last year into this year's game, which I think people will be happy about, but they won't do that. They can just even, like, add a set to the game where you can just kind of, add a token and change the guy's chemistry to, like, mobile blocking or stuff like that. But nope, we'll just keep getting move the sticks online, which don't give them any benefits besides, I guess, if your line picks a fumble up and spins somebody out. So I wish they were kind of more like, that didn't fail. I failed. Let's, like, how Rex on the podcast is like, we failed with target passing. Like, just be honest. We failed with chemistry this year. We're gonna go back, and if you guys want to use collect players, you can make it'll be auctionable, or NAT, whichever one it is. You can just change the chemistries on them to what they were last year, so that way we can actually build lineups that are better for our roster.
So I want to be clear that I'm not a fan of the gimmicks that they add every year. If we're talking about gameplay things like the target passing, that's so stupid. Like, why do they feel the need to add something gimmicky like that every single year? It started with Hit Stick, and Hit Stick was a big hit. I loved Hit Stick when it came out, but I feel like that was kind of like the beginning of the end. Like, Hit Stick worked for them, so then every year after that, they're like, let's add the vision cone, let's add target passing. And it's this thing that they put into the game, and they're obviously spending a ton of time developing it, coming up with the concept for it, and nobody's going to use it. Like, they have to know that. Nobody is going to use that when they put it in the game.
I don't know. See, I don't... All right, how do I phrase this? Without liking specific improvements, like target passing, I don't really like it. And I like that they're innovating, though. I like that they're trying new things. Like, instead of just resting on their laurels, they're actually putting time into doing something. Like, trying to make this game more fun, more immersive. Like, target passing would be like... I don't know. It ended up as a gimmick, but they started off as something like you could accurately place to the back of the end zone on like a fade or something, like a quarterback would. But it ends up just not being very effective because of the way it's coded and defensive backs breaking on it just as well as any other ball. So I don't know. I appreciate them trying. I appreciate them swinging for the fences, and yes, sometimes they strike out, but if they hit a home run, that's great. Like, it's like when they brought in MUT drafts or salary cap, these new modes that they like, they added to the game. They put a lot of time into it. I like that they're trying. I want them to bring out stuff we love or we hate, because hates can be eliminated. Loves will stick with us forever. It's good. I don't want them to sit in their bureaucratic ways just pumping out the same content in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, and I agree with that. They definitely need to be innovating. That's where competition comes in. Like, if they had at least one, like, they could even just put another team on creating a different NFL game and see which one of them does better. But having some sort of competition where they can fuel each other to make the right types of improvements every year, I think that would go a long way. Ever since 2K doesn't have the rights to NFL anymore, Madden has kind of plateaued. Yeah,
I don't know. About everybody wants competition. I think everybody's going to agree with that. I think that's fine. Like, all right, I thought about this a while ago. Like, if I were ever to think about, like, a job at EA, the job that I'd want is, like, a strike team. Like, I'd want to have, like, a few different developers and just innovate on the game. Not, like, do any bug fixing or any bullshit like that. Just come up with new ideas and implement them. Like, just the crazy ideas that I have and see if they'll work. That's kind of, that's been, like, I don't know, I just had to brainstorm about that. Like, if you had a job at EA, what would you want, Slump?
Yeah, well, if they dedicated the resources to that,
Like,
then that would be awesome. But
give me $1 million to hire 5 programmers, and you're getting some cool shit in the next coming years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would be awesome to have an innovation team. That would be the team that I would want to be a part of as well. But I don't want them to take resources away from fixing gameplay to add gimmicks into the game. I'd rather, instead of the gimmick, they worked on fixing the animations, or they worked on fixing, balancing the games and balancing the plays and things like that. Don't they have like a data team that can look and see that 80% of people are running the same thing? Like, can we not?
Yeah, Rex has those tools. We talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah. So I can't. Like, if they're looking at that and they're seeing that everybody's doing it, they need to. Yeah, we talked about this on when you were on the Muthead podcast as well. They do need to find a way to balance these plays, whether it's just eliminating them or making them not as effective. Like, if I could dedicate a team, if I had $1 million to spend on the game, I would put it immediately to work on fixing some of the biggest gameplay issues.
I gotcha. How about you, Chewy? What would you want as a job at EA?
I mean, that would be awesome. I think most companies have something along those lines. I mean, EA probably does have something along those lines in the EA umbrella. But Madden, as we've said before, I think has a very small amount of resources. But I think anytime you put money into something, of course, sometimes it doesn't work out. But anytime you're putting resources into it, you're either going to find stuff that doesn't work, or you're going to find something that does work. Like, it's like was it Albert Einstein that said that? I remember from National Treasure. I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. Albert Einstein, when
Edison
I said...
didn't make... That was Edison.
Edison, yeah, wow. Hey, you know what? It's still a great quote, okay? Why did I say Einstein there? I think it's because the Edison, Einstein, their names are just...
It doesn't matter. We've moved past it. Keep going.
Okay, but I feel like that's sort of the thing. Like, anytime you put money into something, like, generally it will eventually get better. And I feel like the fact is they don't want to put those resources in there. I think that would be awesome to have some sort of innovation. Like, I feel like I do have good ideas to fix things. I think there's a lot of people in the community that has really good ways to fix power-ups or fix chemistries or fix... And a lot of times it's just like go back to the way it used to be. But sometimes there's actually some really good stuff out there that I think can actually be done. And I don't know if it's the problem is they don't want to, do it because it's not their own idea, or they don't want to do it because they don't know, they don't like the idea, or maybe most likely they don't do it is because they don't know how to do it. And I think that sometimes it's just they don't they don't have the resources to be able to implement these things that we think are really good ideas. Some of the stuff is really obvious. We know they can make chemistries work. We know that they can make some stuff better. But some of the stuff, even though it's obvious, I'm not a programmer, so I don't know how easy it is to just do it. And their resources are so small that I don't know if they even would know how to do it unless they put the money out there to get some people that do know how to do it.
So they actually do try to have some sort of innovation team, and they do it through the Game Changers. And I promise you that the Game Changers give them a lot of feedback very, very constantly. And
it sounded like Texas sneezed there. We'll get that in a second. Sorry.
So yeah, but they're trying to sidestep actually putting a team on it. So the Game Changers are making these suggestions because they see what's going on in the community and they pass it along. But it just kind of hits a wall because, it gets to a certain person, and like we hit on earlier in the show, it's got to go up so many rungs on the ladder that even if it's a great idea and everybody would be behind it if they heard it, it just never gets heard.
Oh, that's too bad.
That sounds like a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a big issue. Texas, what is your dream job at EA, or what would you do if you could have a dream job at EA?
All right, so it's a toss-up between, coding ratings into making it matter more and content, because I like putting being able to have a choice of putting stuff out into the game. It'd be kind of cool to have that impact, because you can either be hated or loved, and we'll see how that goes. But the ratings thing still bugs me, man. We still don't know what half these things do. Awareness still doesn't matter, they claim it does. Strength doesn't matter, even though they claim it does. I'm like, can we just make this actually work? So if I actually knew what I was doing, I would probably want to have a job there so I can see the intricacies of okay, so this is what affects this, and then try to make things more simplified, I would guess, so that way we know what things do. as opposed to what they do right now, which is just kind of have us figure these things out.
Yeah, I still don't know why we don't have that, and we've talked about it. It's silly. But
it'd be kind of interesting to see, like, especially if I worked there and I was doing YouTube still, like, explaining, all right, so this is what goes on here, then it starts to show testing to prove I have the information at my fingertips, and then over the course of, like, years, I can potentially be like, all right, so pass block plus strength equals this result, versus right now, pass block plus strength equals maybe he blocks, maybe he just runs right by him, and I get sacked for a loss.
For anybody who doesn't know, strength doesn't matter in pass blocking, according to Clint. It only matters in run blocking, and even then, in my personal opinion, it doesn't mean much.
Yeah, it's weird. I noticed run blocking works better with faster guys, so I've just drawn Bettis at fullback.
Yeah, he's actually done well for me.
He's amazing. He has no run block, though. None. Yeah. But he out here, he gets in the way. Like, he's like, DeMarco will just run by people. Like, this Jerome Bettis actually blocks. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Like, it's ridiculous that doesn't.
You only need to block him for like a half second, right?
Yeah, just get in the way, and he gets in the way. So I appreciate it. He has the speed to get in the way, and he's I love him. So that's amazing. But to fix power-ups real quick, it's easy. They just need to, like, they can even keep drop limit time cards. Just if you drop limit time card as a power-up, just let me use elite tokens to get to that version. Simple.
Boom. Simple. Easy. All right, that's it for the pop. Oh, what's up?
No, you're good.
All right, I was going to wrap it up. Hey, thanks, guys. Chewy, Slump, appreciate you both stopping by. Everybody check out them on the Muthead podcast. They drop theirs every Wednesday. We drop ours Thursday now. We got off your day, so that way we didn't overlap, and just Tuesday nights are good for us now. So, hey, appreciate you both.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, check them out. I'll have their links in the description. Texas, I will talk to you next week, good sir.
All right, man. We'll have a good one then as well. Appreciate you guys being on. This was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Take it easy, dudes.
See you.